This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Yeah, for those of you who regularly watch the show, you're like, wow, what's going on? For the rest of you, I don't know. Oh, look at that. There's Chloe and Blue. They're on their little pink bed tonight. Yeah. I don't know, Gene. What's going on? I got all kinds of stuff going on. I'm doing an early show because I want to do an early show. I like to have the evening to do whatever I want on Sundays. Is that okay, Gene? Thanks for trying to sleuth it out. But, all right. What it is for tonight is you guys can call in and tell your... if you have any true crime stories or your thoughts on Delphi or whatever. But there's a lot of people out there that have had things happen to them, and it's always kind of interesting when they call in and talk about, their incident, maybe why they got into true crime a lot of times. And so that number up on the screen there, it's not as complicated as it looks. You just figure out which one, West Coast, Central, East Coast, and then pick the number, then dial it, then you have a meeting ID and then the passcode right there. All right, if you call in with video, I probably won't accept it. All right, because I'm not saying to do that. I'm telling you to use the phone, call the number, just like that. I'm not giving you the meeting ID so you can join in on a video. And if not, then it'll be a short show, okay? Now, what's interesting, I looked up the April Tinsley. I remember back when I was looking into April Tinsley before they arrested John Miller. I wasn't like the people, I've been covering April Tinsley the whole time. Right after the arrest is made. Yeah, we covered it way before that. It was interesting to look up the FBI. They had a 3-page sort of, I don't know, about lack of a better term, like a story on it or something. The FBI did. Then they had the FBI profile. And man, that was one of the most accurate profiles ever. I was just reading it again. Unbelievable. I mean, they nailed it. 100%. There we go. There you go, Cairo. Just for you. Yeah. It was very accurate. I might be going back using Streamlabs OBS pretty soon again, though, because they finally got the virtual camera where they didn't have before, so now you can actually use it exactly the same. That was the only reason I switched completely over. But also, OBS Studio has a lot more sort of people out there that create software for it. That's why I like Apple. I hate Apple computers, but I like PCs, because there's a lot of developers that make things for the PC, not Apple. And, you know, I don't understand a soul. Well, Gray, apples are better. No, they're not. They're not better at anything. Okay, it's a funny gimmick how they made it seem like Apple computers are better at graphics, and they're really not. They they actually started using the graphics cards for PCs on there. Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny is I've said 1,000 times I don't like the term bridge guy. I think it's stupid. And then somebody goes, Gray, who are you to tell people they can't say bridge guy? Like a little baby. And I didn't say you couldn't use it. I just think it's an idiotic name to call a freaking barbarian psycho killer, okay? He killed 2 girls doing absolutely just having a great time, and he kills them, okay? So why would you call him bridge guy? Hey, you know, the Family Guy, it sounds like a cartoon character. You know, it's ridiculous, okay? So let me just say this. Whoever invented the term bridge guy and it stuck, you're an idiot, okay? An absolute dipshit, okay? You could have called it something totally different that was more appropriate for who he is, okay? And let's get serious with all these dumbass initials for everybody. Hey, the BG with the LE and the... You know, give me a break, everybody. Well, Gray, you have to know all of those so you can be cool and in like everybody else. You know, you got to be really neat. So when you have a conversation, only an alien would understand. Yeah. Just one killer here in this case. The person you see on the screen is the killer. He's not a suspect. He's not a bridge guy. He's a killer. And he's the guy that you see. Oh my God, I said guy, that's half the word. And ironically, he said, guys. Hey, I don't know if you guys heard the crazy comment on a Facebook page lately, but somebody literally typed in, you know, what if he's not saying guys down the hill? He's saying a person named Guy is down the hill. So it's like, Guy is down the hill. Hey, everybody. Hey, Jim. Guy is down the hill. And literally, people sat there and acted like it was a legitimate conversation. And we're like, yeah, that's a good point. Hey, look it. He said, listen, Guy, he went like this, Guy, down the hill. Is that how you would say, hey, Jim, Guy, down the hill? No, I mean, just listen to that part of it, okay? But not only that, it's a thought, you know? Here's the thing, everybody. Sometimes when you have thoughts, you don't have to type them out or say it out loud, okay? Just, everybody has weird thoughts, but nobody's interested in hearing your weird thought that has no chance of being... Well, actually, I can't say nobody. They're the same types of people think those are interesting conversations. Yeah, and look at everybody. The phrase guys is not unusual or woo, we can sleuth them out. Some guy that's... Who doesn't say that when you're walking by somebody? Hey guys, how's it going? Hey guys. Hey, thanks, Jess Tombley and Barbara Smith. What they want you to do is the sound of his voice and his look on the bridge. Do you know somebody that has that look and that sound? Okay, that's what's going on. Hey, Gray, on the YouTube. Yeah, everybody says guy. It doesn't even matter where you live. They say guys everywhere. Unfortunately, it should have been, the guy should have, I think a lot of people in today's PC bullshit world should be really upset more with the killer, not for the deaths, but because he said guys. He didn't give any, gender. He should have given some credit to some females too. Like, hey guys and gals. Oops, I mean, that would be wrong too, because then you're leaving out a whole section of, yeah, wow. That's how silly and shitty our world is right now. We are listen, right now, the United States is an embarrassment, okay? Just letting you know. All right, so what do we got here? Yeah, so every thought that you have, you don't need to blurt out. Sometimes you can literally sort of edit it and not say it. I even do that, and I say pretty much everything I think, but I go, well, maybe I shouldn't say that one. Oh, whoa. Well, that's right, because I have this is on tape. There we go. We got to figure something out with that one. Attach something to it with super glue. Yeah, it sure is. Meredith McKenzie. Rebecca knows it is, but won't say anything. Let's see. She can't admit that she got it wrong. Let's see. I'm from Boston. Says guys all the time. Yep, that's right. So anyways, you guys can call in. The point is you just can call in and tell me your true crime story, right? Like, you probably have an incident in your life that you just skirted by or saw something, and you can do that, or you can call in and talk about the Delphi case, your theory, or anything like that. Okay, but I'm gonna try to do this every Sunday, where it's a call-in show where you guys can call in and talk about whatever you want to talk about. All right? And believe it or not, I'm not mean on the phone call.
Gray, you are too. You're always so mean, Gray.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't want people that sound like you just did, Mary Lou, to call.
Okay, Gray, but I wanted to.
Well, you're not going to now. Sorry. All right. Why do you mention that, LM? That guy's a total idiot. Who are you talking about? Oh, that guy? You talking about the one that said they were from Boston? I wouldn't doubt it. Oh, that guy. Okay. Yeah, good luck there, Jake. Good luck. Oh yeah? How do you know that, LM? I wouldn't doubt it, though. Nah, I don't know. I don't know if that specifically is that person. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll put them on timeout, just so all the comments that are up there mentioning initials and stuff like that. You can come back in a little bit there, Elastic Heart. I just want to remove all of your comments above where you mentioned people by initials and all kinds of stuff that we're not really that interested in. Yeah. So what's going on, everybody? Is anybody going to call in? Man, you know what's funny is you're all so willing to call the ridiculous channels out there that have nothing but conspiracy theories because they're willing to, oh yeah, wow, that's wonderful. But when I just want to have a show where you call in and talk about your theories and stuff like that, it's like, oh God, I don't know. It's too serious. I need to have somebody that'll just joke. Let's see. Must have been a thorough voice analysis with those 4 words. I'm sure there was. I think there's. I think what it really says is, "Hey guys," like, if I could type it in apostrophe guys, and then G apostrophe down the hill. It's like this. Hey guys, get down the hill. But he might not have said the G part on that, because if you go, hey guys, pulls out a gun, he might just say, down the hill. But there's this other sound that I hear in there that makes me think it's like, he doesn't say get, but it's like, you know how you would say, hey, get down the hill, get down the hill. You can almost not even really hear it, but it's there. Yeah, they found clothing down there. Yeah. We've talked about that many, many times. So yeah, it does voice analysis, but yeah. Got anything you see on Inside Edition, take it with 87,000 grains of salt. You know. I like Nancy Grace's, what do you call it, her daily sort of show. Seems like she has a little bit better factual on that. But whenever she shows up on a show like Dr. Oz or something, she just plays to the lowest common denominator, and whatever seems to be selling, she'll say. Like she was all into the, oh, there's something weird about the Kanika Jenkins case, because she didn't really look into it at all. She didn't have a clue. Then she started talking about on the Delphi case, the same damn thing. Unbelievable. What was that? She started talking about, oh, look, you can, people say you can see people behind that tree over there. Oh, yeah, and here's the creek. Well, no, you're pointing at something totally inaccurate. It wasn't that at all. All right, here we go. Hey, we got a call. What do you mean the sound's not great? What are you talking about? Well, maybe you need a whole new headset and fix your system there. All right, buddy? Hey, thanks, Scott Holland. All right, hold on. I think I got a call here. Everything looks different on here. It doesn't seem to... Oh, I guess I have the waiting room on. Okay. All right, 443, you're on. What's going on? Not too bad. Who's this? Oh, Easel.
Easel Santiago.
All right, man. How's it going?
I'm going pretty good, man. Thank God I'm off work tonight. So you working every night just about this week, huh?
What was that?
You've been working just about every night this week, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, I do a show every single night. Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of muffled a little bit. It's hard to make you out.
It's been lagging a little bit when I'm watching the show for some reason.
Well, yeah. Well, when you're watching the show, you can't listen to or watch the show. You got to just use your phone.
No, I mean, before I called in, it was lagging while I was watching the show.
Right. Well, that does do that, because the show is about 6 or 7 seconds behind what we're talking about.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was calling. Did you see the update on the Orson West and Warren West case?
Not today or anything. Was there one today?
I don't know if it was actually from the day, but supposedly the Bakersfield police took over the case, right?
I think we did some kind of an update last week. I can't remember what it was, but
where they searched the grandparents' house and stuff.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that was it.
Well, they just went to the apartment that the adoptive parents used to live at before they moved into this new house where the kids actually went missing.
Uh-huh.
They searched that apartment. They dug up a field behind that apartment. This case, they said something about that nobody's actually, except for the people in his family or her family, nobody's actually seen the kids since they lived at the other apartment. So they don't even know if the kids ever even made it to the new house. So they searched the old apartment for evidence, and they dug up a field behind the old apartment they lived in.
Well, they said that nobody's ever even... So they hadn't seen him even at the other apartments?
That's what they talked to all the neighbors in the new house that they lived in.
Yeah.
And none of them remember seeing
wow.
the kids.
Well, why don't they just interview the kids that are there? I mean, they would have the answer in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably have, but there's something's going on. They never even looked out in the desert. They don't think that the kids left into the desert or anything. You know what I mean? So obviously they're thinking something else happened. I mean, but I just thought it was weird, you know, that they would go back to the old apartment that they used to live in and search there and then dig up the field behind their house.
That's wild.
And that house is actually in Bakersfield. That's why California City Police Department, they actually turned the case over in the Bakersfield Police Department.
Yeah. Why would they bury the bodies in the backyard of their apartment, though? That would be really stupid.
They didn't actually say the backyard. They just said a field near the apartment behind.
Yeah, but even that would be kind of dumb. I mean, why wouldn't they just put these little 73 miles away up into the woods somewhere? And, you know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know.
A lot of people do dumb things, though, Gray.
Well, thankfully, yes. Yes, thankfully, a lot of people do dumb things, and that allows them to be arrested.
Hopefully, for the sake of little kids, they'll figure something out soon. I know we was talking about Delphi. I didn't even change the subject up for you.
I wasn't really talking about. It's whatever you wanted to call in about. That's what the show is. So your call is totally exactly. You can call in about whatever the hell you want to call in about, as long as it's related to true crime. Okay.
Right. But yeah, I just wanted to give you that update. You know, I know you said something about people telling their stories about what happened to them, but too much stuff done happened to me in my life. I mean, I'd write a book.
Well, you tell us one of the crazy ones. An incident. That you can.
I was like 14 or 15 years old, and there's some train tracks in my neighborhood down here in Baltimore, and there's actually a train track bridge there, kind of like the one in Delphi. It's like 45, 50 feet off the ground, and there's a big abandoned warehouse back there, and everybody used to talk about it was haunted and stuff like that. So one night, me and my friends, we was like, oh, you know, we're cool, we're gonna go there. We're really scared, and so we go in there. Everything starts, you can't see your hand in front of your face, and as we're walking up these set of steps, we start seeing some kind of light flickering, and on the steps, it was like one of them metal staircases, like a spiral staircase, and it was kind of pulled away from the wall, so you had to jump over like a 3-foot gap onto the platform. As soon as I stepped off of the steps onto the platform, there's a guy standing there with a pickaxe swinging it at me, and
Jesus.
I like kind of jumped back into the room, like trying to duck this pickaxe, and all my friends are like trying to fight him and stuff like that, and trying to stay away from him at the same time. We went back the next day though after we got away, and they actually had a crystal meth lab set up inside of this abandoned building, and they was all in there cooking up drugs, and we kind of stumbled upon them doing that. Luckily, they didn't get none of us and kill any of us, but
wow,
it was pretty very cool.
Sounds like a psycho. Did they ever come and arrest the guy, or?
I had no idea, dude. I know, like I said, we went back a few days later while it was light outside and went down there with weapons and shit. Was like, you know, we're going to go do something about it now. There was nobody in there, but we just destroyed all the shit that was in there. They had set up beakers and all kinds of crazy shit, just busted everything up. And we didn't really get a chance to see nobody's face. It was so goddamn dark, you couldn't even see your own hand in front of your face. But the building's actually still there. They actually burnt down one half of the building, cooking drugs up. They done burnt it all down. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's so weird how there's these in every city. If you just stay in certain parts of the cities, or you know, they seem really safe. But if you just go in the wrong spot, there's just nightmares all over the place, you know?
Oh, dude.
And some people have to live in those nightmares. Yeah, that's the sad part.
Growing up, yeah, man, it wasn't that bad. You know, now Like, I don't even like my kids to go outside around the corner, man. Like, there's people getting killed here every night. I hear gunshots all night long and helicopters flying around. I mean, it's like a war zone down here. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. The whole country's been pretty much a war. Yeah, it's been like a war zone for the last. I guess it seemed like after what was that? There was one of those protests.
Freddie Gray.
What was that?
After Freddie Gray got killed, and they had that riot down here and stuff. I mean, oh man, it's been horrible ever since then.
Yeah, Freddie Gray, and then it built up again. After the, it just keeps going and going. It just got worse. It was like every billions and billions of dollars, and lots of homes were destroyed, and apparently that was okay to do. Sadly.
Yep. It's just crazy out here anymore, man. Like I said, it's ridiculous. I gotta get out of here, man.
Just pack up and go, man. Just load up.
It's kind of hard, I'm a single father with 3 kids.
Yeah.
It ain't too easy just to pack up and go as it used to be,
Right.
But I'm working on it.
Cool.
Hopefully you don't be doing a true crime story about me one day.
Yeah.
They found people in a park somewhere.
Yeah. Nah, you'll be good. Just stay out of trouble, man. Stay out of trouble.
Exactly. All right, buddy, man. I hope you guys have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for calling
Interested in hearing some more cool calls, so people call in.
That's right. Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem, buddy. Have a good one.
You too, bye. Nope, there you go. Now there's no waiting room. It's just you're on hold. But what's going on with this individual? We don't know if that person here. I'm not gonna. I don't know who this person is. There's other people. Yeah, I put him on timeout before because they had referenced a few different names of different people. That's the only thing I don't want in here. People, if you get in an argument with somebody, you don't get to block them just because you're a moderator and you were in a fight with them, okay? Because they might have had you might have started the fight, okay? And so then there's an argument, and just because you're a moderator doesn't mean you get to block them, okay? That's just the way it is. Yeah, I don't want messages if you say something against family members, or you have, especially in the Delphi case, or you start putting in initials and things of who you think is your, POI. That's one of the other ones I can't stand when people say, "Oh, here's my POI." Who the hell are you? You don't have a POI. You are a person. You're not somebody that can have a person of interest. All right? You're just somebody, hey, you're somebody I think might do it. Okay? The police can use the term person of interest. You're not in law enforcement. Okay?
How do you know, Gray?
Well, I'm just assuming because they're on Facebook blabbing away hours and hours and hours. Yeah, so if you don't here's another thing too. If you just don't like the message somebody's saying, you can't remove it. Or you can, but I don't want you to. Okay? I see what you're saying. There's people, I've seen those get removed just because it's something that goes against what I've talked about, like it's the opposite theory or whatever. But that's fine. I'll read it, and if I want to say something to it, I will if I see it. If not, just let it scroll on by. Nobody gives a damn. Let's see. Anyways, who else has a story out there? Come on, you guys. Everybody has an incident in their life that they remember, or they have thoughts on the Delphi case. Everybody has some kind of a thought. And despite what one of the whack jobs on Facebook has said, I do. Listen, everybody. My channel, I'm so proud to say it, is monetized. Okay? I get ads revenue horrible ad revenue, just literally no true crime channel has every one of their videos approved all the time. It sucks, okay, for ad revenue. Okay, so I do make money on this channel. I'm not embarrassed about it whatsoever. I have a job and I have YouTube. And YouTube, I put in 6 or 7 hours a day minimum to get ready for my shows, and I feel like I deserve to be compensated, but at the same time, I donate a ridiculous percentage of it to charities. And we are actually, this year, we just started. We have $6,000 into a DNA fund that Colleen Fitzpatrick will have access to be able to identify Jane and John Does using genetic genealogy. I want to build that up to $15,000. And then I also want to donate $15,000 to charity as well this year. So far, we've done $8,600. 6 of that went to the DNA fund. So I'll continue to donate money to charities as we build up to the 15,000, and then 50. I want to do 30,000 total. That's my goal. Hey, thanks, Mary Clark and Wiesel Santiago. Appreciate it. Yeah, because I get a lot of these idiots on social media that go, "Oh, Gray, how much do you make?" They think I make hundreds of thousands of dollars on YouTube. Ask any YouTuber other than the really big ones with millions of subscribers, or even if you have like 250,000 subscribers and you put out the videos and they all watch them, you can make really good money. I don't have that. I have 56,000 subscribers. I cover tons and tons of cases that a lot of you tuning in right now would not give two shits about, because a lot of you only care about a couple of the really big ones, like Delphi, Madeline McCann, and that. All right, like we went over some cases last night from 1940 something. All right, and that's what we do here. You learn a lot of stuff. And that's how you can kind of build over time. Right? Yeah, it isn't anybody's business, but I'm saying it because you got a bunch of clowns on social media that think they're really sleuthy and cool, and they're just not. All right, I'm totally honest with everybody here on exactly what I do all the time. So thank you very much again, Mary Clark and Wiesel Santiago. Hey, we got a call coming in. All right, 480, you're on.
Meredith.
Hey, Meredith McKenzie?
Yes, it is.
All right, how's it going?
It's going well. I've had this story for a long time. I've always wanted to call it in, but I feel, even though it's public knowledge, I always feel gross about talking about it because it's not my story.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, in 2003, I think it was, or early 2000s, if you Google Rusty Reitz, R-E-I-T-Z,
well, I won't
be.
Michigan. I'm not going to look him up now. But yeah, just tell the story about it.
Okay. Well, anyways, a person that I knew my entire life, he and his girlfriend actually killed somebody. And if you guys don't know me, but I don't know anybody that even commits crimes. So it was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was because of drugs. They killed somebody, like a business partner, because they wanted his money so they can keep doing drugs, and they went to prison for their entire lives in Michigan. Right. And the reason I wanted to tell the story is because I'm a kind of person that before that happened, I would never think anybody I knew would ever do anything bad like that. And it made me realize you should not be so naive.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. But what's the full story though? Did you?
Well, he and his girlfriend got heavier and heavier into drugs, and she was a business partner with the man that they killed.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew that she was getting deeper into drugs, I guess. This is after the fact. I didn't know any of it until afterwards. And they were getting deeper and deeper in, and she needed more and more money. And the way the story goes is that they killed her business partner because he was going to cut them off as money. And what makes it more interesting, not more interesting, this is not entertainment for me at all. This makes me sick. I knew him my entire life. He was like actually my step cousin, I guess you could say. Like our grandparents were married. They were both dead at that point, but they were married. So I knew him my entire life. And he was one of those people that was always a little bit of a screw up, if you know what I mean. But a very nice person. Like, he was always good to me and nice to me. And so when it happened, when it came out and people suspected him, I was like, oh, no. There's no way he did that. But he did.
Yeah.
He did it. And he was so stupid, he left a cigarette butt at the scene.
Have you ever had a dream like you woke up and you killed somebody?
No.
No, but in the dream. I had it one time, and it was like you feel so horrible. Like, God, what, man, you feel, and then you're so happy when you wake up. Like, it's like, and one time
that you didn't
I don't remember doing, like in the dream, it wasn't that I remember doing something. It was just that I knew that I was it was just a weird feeling. So you felt really bad, like, and you can see, because in your dream, it feels like it's real at the time you're in the dream, right? My
dreams are always that somebody killed me, not the other way.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I mean, we've all had those too, right? But if you've had a dream where it's strange, because at the time it feels real, and then it feels like, and then you can almost feel what it would be like being one of those people that are so that's the difference between the way that you feel. If you feel really like, God, you feel really crappy and like just something like you just want to, I don't really know how to explain it. But a serial killer, they don't think that way at all. They're like, oh yeah, probably they have a dream and they get really excited about it, and they
probably. I'm sure that my step cousin woke up and was. I hate to say this. I hope that nobody that knows this case is listening, and that's why I've never called about it, because I have friends on both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to hurt anybody by speaking of it, but it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm sure he felt bad about it, but even though I did care about him, too bad for him. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah.
Once I knew he really did it, I was not going to stick up for him. But I did stick up for him for the first week,
Yeah. So
because I never thought he was capable. And anybody's capable of stuff if they're on drugs. Or if they're a psycho. He wasn't a psycho, but he was a little bit of a violent person, and then you add drugs to it. There you go.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for calling in. You're right. You just never know.
And what sucked about it, for not that I'm making it about me, but what hurt was for a lot of people, is that I was very, very good friends with the victim's friends and family. So that was ugly, right?
Yeah.
But I instantly, as soon as I knew the facts, I
think it'd be really weird to have a friend or know somebody that killed somebody. I don't think I could.
Well, it is very weird, and I think I've lived kind of a boring life, but everybody thinks they've lived a boring life, but if you think back, there's probably something, not that crazy, but I mean, I wasn't involved in it. He wasn't close to me, but he was a somewhat family member, and I mean, I guess he was a little bit close.
Yeah.
That's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah. It's wild. I'm
not proud of it.
I don't really know anybody like that. At least maybe I did know somebody. I just didn't know that they killed somebody later. Right?
Well, that's crazy. And that's why when you find out, oh, no, you don't think they did it. You always hear it on the news. People say, oh, no, there's no way they did that.
Such a great guy.
Well,
man.
you better look at the facts first.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. Awesome.
Anyways, I'm in Alaska freezing my ass off, so.
Not really, though.
And
right?
I
mean, your ass literally isn't falling off, is it?
No, I wish it would. It'd be nice if you'd like shrink a pound off of it, but no. I just stepped outside because my son's home, and I didn't want him to hear me repeating the story because he'd be like, "Mom, why are you gossiping?" Because it sounds like a gossip story. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But it's a true story, and it's disgusting. And he got life in prison, just so everybody knows. He got life in prison in Michigan because that's the way it works. And he's dead. He died in prison.
Oh, good.
Between 2003 and now.
Yeah. That doesn't bother me when people die.
It doesn't bother me at all either, even though I loved him at one point in my life. I don't really care.
Yeah. Awesome.
God, that sounds awful.
Well, hey.
Okay, that's my story. You said nobody was calling in, and the only reason I called in is because nobody was calling.
Well,
so you're welcome.
I appreciate you calling in. Yeah, I don't know why people don't call it. I mean, it's not like, the thing is when you're on the radio, you've got 50,000 people listening. And when I do one of these shows, there might be 300, and then you narrow it down quite a bit. That's
how I feel. I don't think anybody that I know listens to this show, but I don't really know for a fact. And I would never, well, I didn't say anything bad. I just said the truth.
You didn't say anything bad.
I would never want the victim's family to think I called in on a show about it, because that's why I never called about this.
Yeah. Well,
because he was so innocent, and I don't think that you should call in about it. But at the same time, people should know that this stuff happens even in small towns. I mean, my town is like 2,000 people. This shit happens it can happen anywhere, so.
That's right. Crazy times. You just never know.
Well, thanks, Gray. Have a good night. I'm going to go back to listen to the show.
Okay, have a good one. See you later. Bye. I could just see it now. I told my story about that in one dream. I had a dream that I killed somebody. Somebody's going to go. I don't even know what it was or what I did. I just know that I was being chased for it. But they're going to go, ooh, that's it, man. He's admitting it. Oh, wow, the super sleuths out there. You know, here's the thing, everybody. There's a lot of really, really stupid people on social media. Thankfully, there's a lot of really smart ones, too. Okay, but there's a lot of really, really dumb people who have shit for brains and literally can't think themselves out of a shoebox. They are really...
How would somebody get in a shoebox, Gray?
Well, they wouldn't literally get into a shoebox, but it's just a figure of speech.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's sad, that the people out there, like my story that I just told about myself, that somebody out there is like, oh, wow, he's almost kind of admitting that he did something somewhere. What if it wasn't a dream that he had? And it was, oh, God. Scary. And that's literally how people think. They're so sleuthy. It's amazing. They're so clever. Yeah, I don't think that person's who you said it was, LM. No, I blame them all day long. I think it's... How about this? Don't type until you're sure of something. Okay? So, Teacup, I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say. Thanks, though. There's a lot of just... boom. You look at their brain and it sounds like this. Let's see. Yeah, I don't remember very many dreams at all. I hardly even have them where I remember them. Hey, thanks, Rochelle Black. Yeah. Oh, who's calling in next? Thanks, Kit Kat. Hey, Kit Kat, you didn't respond to my email. Okay, go look at your email and respond to that one. I responded back to you after you responded to me. You did, Darlene? Yeah, that's probably a good time to leave. Mine was kind of bizarre. What's weird is in your dream you can't rationally think of something. Yeah. I'm just saying, spend a little time on you guys on social media, Facebook, something like that. Go into the groups and then read the quality of comments on something. Like people will make posts virtually about anything and everything. And it's almost like they're so bored, they'd rather talk about drivel than anything useful or meaningful. Not really sure where that came from. I'll just say, yeah, didn't happen. How do you know? It's just bizarre out there. That's all I can tell you. I don't know if they're actually dumb inside, but think through it a little bit. I doubt any of them are rocket scientists, like our Colleen Fitzpatrick. Yeah, but hey, but what if that was before the murders, like 10 years ago? Nah, it must have been during true crime. Mustn't been that long ago. Yeah, I've been doing this for 8 years now, maybe 9. One day it'd be fun just to go through all the different posts on a show just to show you what I'm talking about. And the people willing to, here's the thing, people always say, no question is dumb. I disagree. I hope they solve it. I definitely think, my opinion is they'll solve it. Yeah, things are moving. Like when I type letters on the screen, they don't show up quick enough, so I'm wondering if there's something going on. Although it moves around quick in here. I think it'd be fun to do that, though. Oh yeah, the karaoke show. Yeah. The thing is, you have to have it on your end, where the music's playing on your end and you're singing to it on your end, because if I played the music, you would lag when you sang it. So you'd have to just put the mic somewhere where everybody can hear your voice and the music at the same time. Yeah, I think I do have a gong sound. Let me see. Where is that thing? I don't know. I've had that though. I don't know where it is. Is it this one? No.
Whoa. Hey, Greg, I got a question.
No. I do have a gong sound. There it is, right there. All right, cool. Well, it would probably be East Coast. Just dial one of them. It'll work. How about try it and then ask a question? All right, here we go. Who's this one? 707, you're on. You have to hit *6. Hello? Hello? 707. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Here
Oh, Jesus, yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, shit.
I'm just calling about the woman who's missing in New Hampshire with her German Shepherd dog.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in that one. But yay, cool.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I just actually did some research on her and the dog. The dog is 3 years old, but I think she's pretty much a pacified German Shepherd. I'm not sure just how, protective besides her presence she would be. I found out that she's only trained in Irish. So if there's someone out in those woods, saying, hello, Flossie, come, Flossie, Flossie, she might not respond because it's not in Irish. She's not trained in English. She's not trained in German. She's only trained in Irish. And that's a very rare thing. I mean, I really didn't know that too many people besides me did that. And also, she's skittish of men.
Well, what do you mean?
Or a bit afraid of men.
How do you know that her dog only was trained in Irish?
Because I found the search poster online.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then.
I believe it.
Okay.
It's a very Irish family.
Yeah. So, anyways, what?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Yeah. So that's the one we talked about it the other night. She's the one that's missing with the.
Yeah.
With her dog.
Missing out in the wilderness in New Hampshire with her dog, and the dog is either skittish or afraid of men. So I'm not sure just how much of a deterrent at the end of the day the dog would be. But the police are still saying they don't suspect foul play.
Yeah.
And the update was only 16 hours earlier than this. So obviously they're not thinking there's foul play, but are they thinking she's tremendously lost? It said they were using drones yesterday to try to see them out in there. But in what I could see, that they didn't have any success. And I would hope that the drones have FLIR on them so that they can, see better. Because if you just send a drone up without FLIR and you're looking for someone missing, you're not going to have a very good chance in the woods like that of finding someone. You might not even have a very good chance of finding someone even with FLIR if it's a very, thick woods. I don't know, New Hampshire, I'm told, has got like maple trees and big trees in it. I've never been to New Hampshire. So anyway, I just wanted to call and say that it's going to be a little bit more difficult, I think, to control that dog. It sounds like it's very much a one-woman German Shepherd. And so it's going to be hard for them to find the woman by finding the dog. Or finding, I think the dog would be with the woman and not leave it.
Somebody said, why not just use women searchers then?
Well, yeah, I hope they are having women in there. I mean, the woman's got a sister who's putting out posters, got it everywhere. And so, maybe she's going out there. The dog would probably come to her.
Plus, women right now are better than men at every single thing in the world, so they should be able to go out.
Oh, no, we're not.
Oh, come on! No. That's what they tell you on the media. That us men suck at everything. And no. I don't want to claim to be better than anyone else because of my gender. Oh my God! I know. Well, that
would be too stressful.
Right, but that's what the media only cares about those issues, though. That's the sad part.
Yeah. I know
they put everybody
it's totally
in boxes.
Wrong.
They put everybody in boxes, and we have to have. It just sucks. But yeah, why not they get women out there and have them be the searchers? They can be. The one. Make sure that they all have a little bit of an Irish accent, though. Right?
Or let teach them how to say the various commands in Irish. There's a lot of them, but hopefully.
Now let me ask you this: do you think they feed the dog Lucky Charms? It's just a question I had.
Oh no, not as Lucky Charms. Not that magically delicious stuff.
Yeah, see, there you go. Magically delicious. You've been practicing on that.
None of that.
You've been practicing. You've been practicing.
Frosted Lucky Charms are magically delicious.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, my son's over here giggling at me for saying all that. Yeah, he said, yeah, go find your dog, man. Okay, so anywho, so I just called about that because I found it interesting that she only trained the dog in Irish, and the poster was very specific when it said the dog is only trained in Irish. Now, mine are trained in Irish and German, sometimes whatever third language people want to put on them. But to only train the dog in Irish is, I thought it's kind of rare. I was surprised when I saw it.
Yeah, but your dog, when you say 9, you know, what if it thought you were saying something else? Like in English, 9.
No, it's the tone of voice. 9. No, 9. I have a different tone of voice when I, when I command the dogs, because there's one sitting over here watching me, and she, when I said 9, she looked up, but I babble a lot, as you know, so I have a different tone of voice when I babble than when I work the dogs.
Yeah, what's weird when you know what's weird when you babble, you have this, it's monotone, so it just goes. No,
I don't think I have a monotone when I babble.
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying it. I mean, if somebody was
like
babbling,
I'm some sort of, I could be some sort of Irish computer,
That's right. See, there
and
you
I'm
go.
not, Irish voice dubber, whatever you call it. So, and so I thought that was interesting. I thought also interesting that they still say they don't suspect foul play, which leads me to wonder if perhaps the woman maybe does have some sort of problem going on in her life.
Well, that's what we were talking about. I remember we were talking about that. I was thinking that she was maybe something went on, but I don't know why she would kill her. I mean, it's kind of interesting. What did we come up with at the end? It was either she drove off and she still has the dog. I don't think she would kill her dog. So.
Oh no! I saw pictures of her. She dressed the dog up for St. Patrick's Day. It was gorgeous.
Is that possible?
It really was.
Is that possible?
Like,
how is that? Is that even possible? To dress
a German Shepherd? Yeah, I dressed one of mine up as a chia pet on Halloween. I grew the moss for it, and then I kind of stuck the moss with Gorilla Glue onto a piece of burlap.
Yeah. Stuck
some Velcro on the burlap, so I had the chia pet on the back.
Where was our
then
picture?
I made a little.
You should have sent in a picture of
Pardon?
it. Do you have a picture of it?
Oh, I have to go look. It might be in London. I have to look and see if I've got it with me. But yeah, I have a picture of that dog in his chia pet because you took the pictures, and then there was a costume contest, and I was very happy to say, I even put the moss on his legs, but not the tail, and we won. I mean, I wasn't really surprised because
let me ask you this:
I really
did the dog feel like it was a winner at the time? You felt great. Ah, yeah. But do you think the dog?
Do you think
the dog enjoyed? Do you think the dog enjoyed the whole time when you're on the legs, putting the moss in there, and then all over the top of the body, all over?
Yeah, he was getting cheese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the dog is. If I'm very bubbly, giggly, happy, usually if they're not asleep, my dogs are, bubbly, giggling, happy with me too. Right along with me. So, anywho, yeah. But the chia pet was very good. But now I have a little, I've listed the St. Patrick's, but I have a little Irish hat and a couple Irish scarves and a few other Irish things. So wherever I am next St. Patrick's, I'm going to get more kit for that.
Hey, the stimulus response, Pavlov's dog, where that's what you feed them when they do something you like, and then after a while you can quit giving them the thing that they like, and they'll still do that thing. Let's see. Exactly. We have this treadmill. We don't need an explanation of why. I got this treadmill over here, and we used to put Blue would get up on there with my wife, and she'd be walking, and then we'd feed him some little, just something to eat while he was moving. He would just run right there at the same time. And then later, when I get up on there, just to, walk for a while, he'll just run up and jump up there. I think he's expecting to get something to eat, because as soon as I kick him off of it, not literally, but I say, hey, I move him off, he runs over and eats something out of his dry dog food bowl.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. Mine now, if they get a treat, it's like a gift from God, unless I'm training them something.
See, like what you can do is you can snap. You can make a click. You could actually take a click sound, go click sound, and then you feed them, and their salivary glands start going because they're going to eat, and then later on you can just do the click sound, and their salivary glands start going because they think they're eating.
Yeah, well, what I do, and Kathleen, I'm not a troll. I'm Irish, and there's a huge difference. So, anywho.
Don't you think it's funny when somebody, you look up in the chat, like you literally, like this person named Suze, or whatever her other name is, and you go all the way up there and they haven't made one comment, and then you look in and they say no. How is anybody in the world supposed to know that? Right?
Well...
I don't even remember when I said a question. I mean, maybe it was like 5 minutes ago I said something where there was an answer where you could say no to, but I mean, we're on a big lag for some of you. So when you just type in no, how does anybody know what in the hell you're talking about? Okay, well, how would they know that you were replying to him, Susie? That's what I'm trying to say, is like, how would Cass Lynn know that you were responding to them? Okay, say...
Oh, I used the word troll in my comment.
Like, say, no, Cass Lynn, like that.
Oh, you just wanted me to say no instead of I'm not a troll?
And then her comment is also hard to understand because she says, is this a troll? Oh, you. She's talking to you. No, she calls in every show. That's why I go, oh, boy, here we go. It's just part of it's. Listen, it's part of the shtick, everybody. I mean, it's just really what it's like, because it's like, this is... This is exactly how every call goes. All right?
Yeah, well, we're friendly, And I like talking to you because I get some intelligent conversation, which I don't always get from my children. So it's kind of nice. And then also I noticed a lot of people aren't calling, so I thought maybe I would babble enough and they would call in just to shut me up.
Yeah.
In pure self-defense,
Mm-hmm.
But not. So, so I called about that because, I don't like, there must be something behind the not foul play that no one is, has seen fit to share. And that's probably not, it's not our business anyway, why she might have gone off. Our business, I think, though, is that we care that she gets found, and I care about the dog pretty much. And looking at the picture, she's totally in love with that dog. And I think I'm not sure why it says, well, I know why it says she doesn't like men. It's because she doesn't like men, but
I think it'd be weird to be honest with you. I don't think I could ever be in love with one of my pets. I can love a pet, I'd be like, wow. But I don't think I could ever be in love with a pet. I think that'd be strange.
There's love and in love, yeah.
No,
I do.
Yeah.
I have to get my dogs to work the way my dogs work.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I do show them a degree of affection. Basically, if they do well, they get affection. If they don't do well, I let it pass. If it's been more than 3 seconds, because the poor dog doesn't know what it's being, corrected for after about 3 to 5 seconds. So there's no point to doing it if I don't capture it. So dogs like more than verbal affection. Dogs like physical affection, because that's one way the dogs communicate with one another, very much so. So I give a lot of physical, correct physical praise to my dogs, and my dogs work better than most people's dogs, and it's because of my personality with them. I do believe other people believe it too. I can work cadaver dogs off lead. I can work search dogs off lead. so I can do a few things that people generally cannot consistently do. And with cadaver dogs, really, I don't understand why people will always put them on lead as a cadaver dog, because really what you're doing is you're sending them out, telling them, okay, letting them know that what they're going to be doing. And since my cadaver dogs only do cadaver and my search dogs only do search, and they're not too confused about it, so you send them out there, and I'm telling them, go find me the dead smell, the decomposing smell of a dead body. Go out and find it. I don't need to take it there, because if I take it there on lead, I, in my head, even though I don't realize it, I probably would have a preconception about the best place that dead body might be. And through my body language and through the tension on a lead, I can actually propel the dog to go to a place that the cadaver isn't going to be, because the dog's basically on lead. And I think that's, when you look at the hit percentages on cadaver dogs, I have a real good one, because I send my dogs off lead, and then I know when it is practical to use a cadaver dog, and when it's, it's not going to buy you anything, to put a cadaver dog out. I can say, no, it's just not. Usually, and some people can call that any topic tonight. Oh, sorry, shouldn't do that. I promised myself I wouldn't try to read.
Well, there you go.
So,
you got in a lot of different topics. All right, so we'll
yeah. Anywho, I'm done.
All right, well, we'll keep
you take care, and thank you for putting up with me babbling. I do appreciate it very much. And,
it's always fun.
Do good. Bye.
It's always fun. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
I think that's an Irish thing, how they get off the phone. That's how Colleen gets off the phone too. Okay, bye. I don't know. You just type in the @ symbol. That's how you tag somebody. Well, yeah. All right. Anybody else want to call in? One thing in the Delphi case, you always have these people. Hey, Cindy, how's it going? You always have these people. There's people that believe that there was somebody over here at 12:30 with a dog, walking dogs. There's been no verification of that. So I'm not going to be putting that in any theories that I have. There's a notorious schemer. It could be true, but the person who always mentions that is a grifter YouTuber. Okay, and so we can never really take anything that person says, because anything factual that they're saying are just things that they took from other people and applied it to their own show. Okay. All right, here we go. Let me do this one. All right, 978. Nope, they got out of here. Yeah, so we've got the, I'm just not willing to, unless I hear somebody in law enforcement say that somebody walking their dogs over here at 12:30. I have heard that one of the eyewitnesses was a younger, like a later teenage girl who, some people know, and maybe that was a witness who saw the suspect. That's something that I've heard about since the beginning. The barbarian killer. Okay. Right. That's what's so bizarre, is that somebody like what Cairo's saying, it's amazing that anybody over there, it's shameful. Okay? But all they ever say is, oh, you're just jealous. I'm not jealous of any of those people. Okay? I'm truly baffled that anybody supports somebody like that. That's it. Okay, that's all I can say. I mean, I don't have any other words or... Anybody have any questions on this? Anybody need any explanations? of any kind? Does everybody know everything, how it worked now? I wish Google would do a street view over here, though, I'll tell you that. Then you could really show people. Hey, Tracy, how's it going? Do we think the Delphi perp fled through the cemetery? Is there a path, or is it difficult terrain? I know there's some paths that go sort of around through here, but I think it's pretty difficult terrain, but he easily could have, because I think that's how even that HLN podcaster walked. You know, you just park here, you can go through a little part in the fence there, and you walk down, or you can go to Ron Logan's property if he gives you permission. I think that's what they did, actually. And then walk over to here, and you just walk down. All right, just a second. All right, 801. You have to unmute 801.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Who's that?
This is Gwendolyn B. I donated like a little bit earlier, and then I've called in a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know you.
I thought I would call because I wasn't sure if it would be okay to call in and let you know that I really appreciated the 2-part video that you did on Sophia Barrett or something. Yeah, that was a really good one. So
Well,
I would mention that.
That one was crazy, right? Of course, nobody that's tuning in for the Delphi only would ever get to know about the case. But yeah, that one was crazy.
I think there was a lot of corruption going on, so I'm pretty sure she got offed. So I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, what's funny, at the end of the book that Susanna found, the guy, he has almost the exact same theories, that we discussed. And probably, Lou being the person. That was one of the theories anyways. So
I was kind of, but the way that the guy wrote it's a little different than a lot of the source material that you access, I noticed. Mm-hmm. Like, for me, it's more of a story format rather than just kind of maybe reporting on the facts. So I guess the guy kind of had a little bit of his interpretation on it, but maybe he didn't have enough, obviously, like, factual information to prove anything, so he kind of had to keep it that way to make sure somebody wouldn't, sue him or something.
Well, in that 5-part... that was a 5-part newspaper series that we went through. That wasn't the book. Yeah. The book is somebody else who wrote a book. It seemed like that. I mean, he used a lot of the same information, but it's an actual book about the murder, basically, I think it was Cincinnati murders from 1905 on, But it brought up that one and had a big, a lot of chapters on that, and then discussed it. Similarly, it seemed like it used a lot of that 5-part series, but then at the end they speculated, had the same conclusions that we kind of came up with.
And that's what I'm thinking too, is it would be, because it's been like 41 years since this woman died that was the spouse of Lou. Mm-hmm. Why couldn't we get those tapes now? I wonder if there's something preventing them from ever being released. I would love to hear what she was saying during those sessions.
I know, maybe we could make that maybe get a hold of this author who wrote this book and then see how to track down those cassette tapes. Because those are made
it would be very interesting.
Those were made by the brother, I think, right? No, not the brother. The detective that the brother was communicating with. He's the one that recorded.
Oh, they were? Okay.
Yeah, remember he had the microphone on. He turned it on.
Okay, yeah.
And then you go into the house and talk to her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They hired a private investigator, I believe it was, to track her down and find out what was going on with her. I believe that's what it was, right? Was it a detective or was it a law enforcement officer?
I think he was a detective. Well, that's they are law enforcement.
A private investigator.
Well, no, but
I thought it was a private investigator. That's what I thought at first.
Well, he might have. I think he was an officer. He was a detective at one time, I think. But anyways, he was over there and he was recording her on different conversations. Yeah.
My theory is, I think honestly she'd been harassed by this Lou guy. If he indeed is the one responsible for her killing, I think he harassed her on for the time frame she lived there, and then she might have seen something, but maybe he was doing something as well that she threatened to tell on him about if he wouldn't quit harassing her or something like that. But I think the fact that he was married to a woman that's about the same age as the victim, it just tells me that he's kind of skeevy.
Yeah. It was weird.
It's kind of weird. I think they only had maybe
said, that the part that I always think about is that she said, "You bastard." That was a phrase. Yeah. That's a phrase that you would say, like, if somebody's grabbing you inappropriately, or it's not something you would say to somebody who's about to kill you, right? Like they pull a knife. I think the theory that was in the book was that she threatened to tell his wife, and then right after he tried to make an advance on her, and she said, "Don't do this. I'm going to tell your wife," and he just says, "Oh, screw this," and then killed her to keep her quiet. And then he goes out the back door and out, and he was seen by 2 people, actually, leaving. And so I think, and he knew how to get out of that building. Remember how to get out through the crazy maze, through one of the doors. It even looked like it was a regular apartment, but it literally was led to how to get out of the building. So
they probably had something like that in the building just to make it easier for the staff to get in and out when they were cleaning rooms and stuff. That's probably why they had something like that. Because I thought about that. I was like, why would you have something that looks like a regular door? Because I don't know. That just sounds like an old times feature you're never going to see in the newer hotels. Not even close. It just sounds weird. Right. So, but no, I do believe that she probably died because if that is the guy, I'm pretty sure he made some sort of move on her, and I bet it wasn't anything new under the sun as far as he's probably done it before, but maybe because he went to her room, it was way up in the ante quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? So I do think it was sexually motivated. Although it's weird that he would have had a knife on him, but then again, I guess he was a criminal, so probably he would have a weapon on him a lot of the time anyway, wouldn't he? Especially considering how dangerous that area probably was. Cincinnati is still very dangerous, in a lot of ways. So, from my understanding anyway.
Yep. Awesome. Well,
so I just thought I would say that, I really enjoyed that specific 2-part series. Wanted to check in. I've been kind of crazy busy, but I don't really participate that much anyway. So, but I just thought I'd let you know that a cold case. I still listen to all the cold cases. So. Yeah,
I like doing those. They're really interesting. But I'm going to actually call in. I'm going to call and try to figure out more information on the headless female. Today I tried to find other headless female victims around that time, and I stumbled upon some in different states. One, like in California, there were some just like that, and then there was two college girls that were. It was crazy. They just went missing, and then 4 months later or so, they found them, and in these shallow graves, the FBI came in, and somehow they were able to. They found different items here and there, and then it led to them discovering their bodies. And both of them didn't have heads on. They were headless. So it was like, that's pretty bizarre. They arrested somebody and he was convicted, but almost everybody doesn't think that guy actually did it. So I've got them all the stuff stored, and then I'm going to look at, there's 2 people that, there was a podcast made about it that I found after I was already researching it. There was a podcast made, and the 2 different people in the podcast had a person that they thought was an interesting person that they think might have done it. And so what I'll do is I'll take each of those names and then look them up, and then we can decide ourselves based on that. And then if you guys want, you can go listen to the podcast. But
are you going to do that in the next couple weeks then maybe, or do you feel like you might be able to get to it, or do you think you might need more time on that?
Well, I'm just now, I have like 20 PDF files already. And I'm not even to the point where, well, I'm just at the point where there was like a trial or something like that. I don't know. It takes
how far
forever.
Do you get into but how far do you get into those cases before you decide if it's one worth covering? I mean, sometimes you never know what's in there. Because I know sometimes you say you don't read everything, but I wonder how long you would want to read into something before you know it's worth your time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I read like a paragraph, just to see what is the headline, a paragraph or something, and then I go, okay, this one seems like it's pretty good. And then I'll just kind of keep those, as long as they're different. I don't like to keep, sometimes I have a repeat one, but I like to just have them where they're all something a little new about it. You know, like in this one, they find a purse, and then they find a wallet, and then they find, you know, there's different things found over time, and so each one of those is good. And it's always good to repeat stuff too, because then it ingrains it in people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was actually going to say, now that I think about it, because I'm on the phone with you already, I was going to say that Schnee Oberholzer case being solved after like 41 years as well. I think it happened in 1981 or 80, something like that.
Yeah, 81.
The fact that got solved with just a small amount of DNA is amazing. I never thought that would have been solved. I remember watching that episode of Unsolved Mysteries as a kid and just being creeped out by it. So I cannot believe they actually solved it.
Yeah, it was crazy, and we started, and we were covering it. I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago on here. Just because
I watched everything that Dennis did.
Well, yeah, but then
all of the footage she did.
Yeah, well, we did shows, and then Dennis, based on the shows, went out there and said, "Hey, let me," you know, he got really into it because we covered it. Then he went out there, and then we took some of his footage, and then he became friends with the detective a retired detective who just kept working on it over the years. There's some really crazy stuff I can't say anything about, but that we found, but we were told we can't, you know, so it's really interesting shit. Big, huge ass twists in there, but unbelievable. One of these days you'll get to know it.
Well, and that's the thing, though. I was actually going to ask you, maybe this is just a suggestion, I don't really know, but, like, have you thought of, I mean, I remember through some cases in the area that you were kind of thinking, well, maybe this guy's got to be responsible for more than just the double murder that he was arrested for. There's got to be more out there, you know, and I'm wondering if maybe, like, if more information comes out, like, that you're able to maybe, like, speculate further on, you know, other victims that could have been in the area. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked into some of the missing people and murders out there. Some seem like he could have been definitely part of that. And I know that Dennis is really digging into that, going back to different places he's lived and that kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes.
Do you guys think you might want to do a show together, like again like that, to see kind of just like a speculation kind of thing? Or is that something you guys already talked about doing, maybe something like that? Like another collaboration like that?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Okay. I would be very interested in hearing more of that if you guys find anything, because this case was just insane that we could actually get this solved. And her husband, Oberholzer's, am I thinking? Yeah, I'm thinking of the right guy she was married to. He actually knows, you know, who now did it. Thank God he finally was exonerated completely. You know?
Because there's always people there always had a few people that were a little bit probably skeptical still. I mean, you got to admit, like, him having, or she, Schnee having his business card, and then she's dead, and then his wife's dead. That would seem really, you know, kind of suspicious. The other stuff didn't seem suspicious at all, that he found those items, because he was called by a rancher to say, hey, the license is right here, and then on the drive to find the license, he drove slowly because now he knew that his wife was in that direction, so he looked around outside and he found her backpack.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lola. Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, I think this guy's responsible for more than just these two people. I had a theory, like, I think this was early on in his, if I had to guess, how old was he when he did this? I think he was in his late 20s at the time. Might have been. Which is about the age for a lot of serial killers to kind of start getting a pattern a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that whatever, you know, he's definitely a serial killer type person. He only had 2 murders. You could call that a spree killing, but it's almost certain. I think it's almost certain that he's killed again, or before that even. Okay, that's what I would think. So, and there are other missing people. It's just
weird.
There's other missing people, and there's other bodies that have been found out there in the general area from around that time frame. And then maybe even where he lived prior. Who knows?
Well, it seems to me like from what I remember, I think he's been in Colorado like damn near most of his adult life. So I don't think we know much about him when he was like a kid or something, but it sounds to me like he's been there for many, many years. And so, and like you said, like several times in the past, there's dead bodies everywhere. So you can't assume he's responsible for everything, but I cannot believe you got to be a really dark person to literally decide to go out and kill somebody. And especially a defenseless woman who's just trying to get a ride home or to work. That's ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you have
he definitely needs to go away.
You had Annette Schnee she was just going to, Annette K. Schnee, she was just going to hitchhike home to change clothes to go back to work. So she would have had to hitchhike again. So she was hitchhiking home south to go get her work clothes, but she never even made it home. So the killer, and then she just disappeared for 6 months. Then, and because she was dead, they found her 6 months later. But the same night, he abducted another woman named Bobby Joe Oberholzer, or Barbara Bobby Joe Oberholzer. She, and then she was hitchhiking home because her friends at the bar said they wanted to stay a little too long. So she goes, I'll hitchhike home, and didn't call her husband or anything. Because it was always something everybody did. And she got abducted not long after that ride, and she fought back and one of her right glove was off. Her left hand had the glove on it, and apparently the zip tie was still on that hand. And so that she probably wounded him somehow and got blood on the right glove. But somehow that glove made it back inside the backpack. That part's weird.
Yeah.
Like, why would he put the bloody glove back in the back? Because he would have had to do that. So anyways, she got shot, and she lived. She would have lived had she been seen earlier, because none of the gunshot wounds were not fatal. She tried to push herself up the bank, but near her in the parking lot was an orange footy, and when they found Annette K. Schnee 6 months later, she had on the matching orange sock on her foot. So then they knew for sure.
Do they know who the socks ultimately belonged to first? Was it Annette or was it Kay?
Yeah, it was. Well, that's the same.
Or Bobby. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They were Annette's socks. They weren't even on Bobby Joe. They just kind of fell out of the car. So it kind of shows you that the orange sock was probably near the door or on the seat or something. And then when Bobby Joe made her run for it, it slid out and fell on the ground. Kind of a miracle, really.
And I gotta be honest, the guy that killed them, he just didn't sound like he was kind of sloppy, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Just the way he
a little bit. He
threw stuff around and then, shot them and then didn't finish the job. He just didn't sound very experienced.
Well, the thing is, he killed Annette Schnee, and they found her way down there. Oh, by the way, hold on a second. Thanks, Dan Carr, Linda Howell, Sarah Smile, Meredith McKenzie, Jen H., and Lola. Yeah. So way down south, she wasn't found for 6 months, right? So that one kind of, and it was just a miracle that she was found. The only reason Bobby Joe wasn't put down in that same area was because she fought back, and he just killed her because she wasn't cooperating, and maybe he could, didn't want to be identified or whatever other reasons there might be. He killed her and he took off. He would have brought her down. I think he would have brought her down to that same creek, Sacramento Creek, I think it was, way down south as well. He just didn't have the opportunity to. And then, who knows, she would have, a lot of things would have changed. Yeah, but the sloppy parts, though, I would say, were throwing the license out on the road, the backpack, all that stuff. Why not just take it back to wherever you came from and burn it or something? Instead you kind of put a trail out there.
Yeah, that's why I thought he wasn't maybe as experienced as he might have been, say, later on, maybe if he is found responsible for other murders. I don't know. It just didn't seem to me like it was very well executed. Not to mention, he's hanging around the same spot where a lot of people are known to hitchhike. That's pretty risky too, the same night. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Extremely risky.
Right, you go back twice and maybe somebody would recognize him. But you never know. Maybe he had at the time, maybe he had a beard on and a hat, a skull cap, and can really make you hard to distinguish who you are. Just wearing like a beanie,
I don't know. I can't help but feel like maybe I would love to know what kind of vehicle he was driving at the time. We don't even know that. There's got to be something. I'd like to know what his vehicle looked like.
I know it. I just don't remember. I know what kind of vehicle he had. I just don't know if that's something that that's
allowed to be talked about.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know if that is or not. Yeah.
Was it a van at all?
But people can look. Well, I'm not going to say yes or no to your questions right after I said that I can't. I don't know.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. But hey, thanks, Maureen. Yeah.
But I just thought I would kind of mention that case too, because that one I was like, yes, thank you, they solved it, and honestly, I just think we're going to have so many answers to so many old cases, that we never thought. I never thought, 30 something years ago would have ever been solved. Now
it's cool that like two of the cases have been solved that we've talked about prior, and they got solved because of DNA. And then the craziest one was the third one. It was in Colorado, I think 60 something. The girl Girl Scout that was killed.
And the Girl Scout camp.
Yeah, that one was so weird because just for people out there, I covered it on my show on a night, just an old time cold case. It was really weird. And we were speculating, like, wow, it seems like they'd have DNA or something, right? And then I ended up removing the video and then posting a shorter version of it and then I played it as a premiere, so people were watching it. And then somebody, I can't remember which one of you guys that was, said, hey, it looks like they did have DNA back then. And that's all they said, because they said that they had DNA, because then there was an article. So I go, let me go check. So I just typed her name in Google, and the case was solved that very day, 2 hours prior. So I covered it the day before, then did a premiere of the recap of it, and then it was solved within that little tiny time frame. It was unbelievable. The guy was dead.
Do you want to? There is speculation. I don't know if I've ever gotten the answer on this one, but it makes me wonder. So, like in the '60s, when that case was happening, all the way up until probably the 1990s. So, like that 30-year time frame. It makes me wonder what was the industry and the police force like? I mean, did they talk about emerging technology? Like, what made them think we need to preserve all of this years before the technology was even there? Yeah, I've always wondered about that.
Yeah, well, because they were really intelligent people. Oh, by the way, hey, Bram up there. Patricia donates all the time. Okay, it's not every single night, but she donates all the time, Bram. So you're an idiot. Okay.
More drama in the chat.
Yeah, she supports the channel all the time. Okay. Yeah, so it's amazing that sometimes these people stored it, and they stored it in a way where it made it through the years, right?
Well, and I remember, like, in the 90s when I was a kid, I was watching, like, The New Detectives. I was watching all that stuff on Discovery Channel, right? And they actually had to take an episode to explain what DNA was, like, 25, 30 years ago. They actually had to explain it to the general public like that. It's one of the first times I remember them explaining DNA to me. That's why I'm wondering if the police force over the years have known about this kind of technology ahead of us, It's very possible. I don't know. I've never really talked to anybody that did anything like that. So just something I've always wondered about, how they knew, that this is going to be, this is going to be the future. Preserve everything you got,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's always a miracle.
My thought.
There's one case that it bugs me, because I've actually talked to the detective on it. I messaged him one time. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it's the Danny Miles case. 1979, Carruthers, California. His body was found. He was sexually assaulted, and he was found on a street called Nebraska and Hughes. And that's my last name, and I live on a street called that. So I always thought it was kind of interesting. But I called him up, and apparently They lost all the stuff a lot of the stuff that they collected at the time in some kind of a flood. I mean, how many times do you hear that? Oh yeah,
wow.
The flood, it wiped it out. So they still have a couple items, and apparently just before COVID, they were going to test it, and then he said, yeah, everything's slowed down because of COVID. So we'll see if, I think they had to send it off to like the FBI or something, because they have like crazy DNA detection.
That would make sense if they're partnering with the feds, and the feds always have the better technology out of anybody local or state. That makes sense, you know. But I was going to say that I really hope, and I'm going to sound like probably slightly unpopular. I love the Delphi case. It's like Chris Watts. It gets beaten up so much, and I really hope it gets solved this year. It was a Delphi show, like kind of in the title, so I just wanted to ask if you could call in about anything. So I talked about cold cases. I'm trying my best to, like, you know, hey, here's other cases out here that are really, really interesting, you know, that's why I need to watch the one with the butcher. You had a butcher, like two-parter cold case probably from like about a week ago. I need to watch that one. I haven't watched that one yet. I'm a little behind, unfortunately.
I think I forgot that one already. If I got to remember any kind of a clue, I'd remember.
But you know which one I'm talking about, right? It's like was it another Cincinnati case? Or was that?
Well, there's one I just did yesterday with the two kids in, I think it was, what the hell was that? Man, my quick memory for that is fading. I have so many cases. I have like literally thousands and thousands of cases in there. It was in,
I can tell you this right now. The one that always stuck out to me, and I can't remember this cold case, but I remember this guy was calling around looking for babysitters, and I can't believe he actually let the parents arranged to let this girl meet a man alone. And come on, I'll come pick you up. You know, my wife's not. Do you not remember that one? It was like a babysitter, and she never was seen again. She took a bus to go meet somebody that claimed he needed to have a babysitter. It was from the 1970s.
Yeah, see, that one was wild too. I don't remember if they ever found her or not. I can't remember how that one worked.
I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I don't think they did. I think she just disappeared completely, and she was only like 14 at the time.
He said, I'll be driving in a certain color car, and she didn't. And then he called and said, oh, yeah, I had to use I don't remember what it was, like my wife's car, because he came up with some weird excuse. And then I'd have to go back and watch it, but we had some pretty good theories. And there was another case very similar to that one. A babysitting.
I think it was the same night too. And I think you were like thinking, was this guy getting around? You know, asking for, like, how did you get away with any of that back then? That's the whole reason why I love these cold cases. It's like, what the hell were people thinking back then? And you could never do that now, not even close. You know, you can't call up some 14-year-old girl's parents and be like, yeah, I need you to meet me in another town, you know, alone. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was 14 years old. Oh man, that was like 20-something years ago. But yeah, I only babysitted for family members. I'd never babysat for one stranger in the neighborhood. Not one person. Nobody in my family would let me do anything like that. So, yeah. All right. Well, I probably have talked your ear off about old cases. I don't know if there's somebody else calling in.
No, that's fine.
But
I appreciate. Look.
What's that?
I wish actually we could do shows where people would call in about the cases that we covered, but unfortunately, a lot of times they're not really paying as much attention, so they wouldn't be able to do it. But you've got the, if you're just listening in the background, you probably have the stories down a little bit better. But I think it's cool that you called in.
That's kind of what.
I think it's cool that you called in to talk about some of these cases that we've covered, and not about Delphi. You know, unfortunately, when people,
and like I said, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with Delphi. I actually lived in. I've lived in the Midwest like a good chunk of my early adulthood and my childhood and everything. So I'm actually my family home is like actually only a couple hours away from Delphi. I know that case needs to be solved. But I just don't know what else there is to discuss theory wise when there's all of the unknowns are just not there to be solved yet.
I mean, a lot of people are discussing. We know a lot of people have theories that are, they just have theories, but they're based on nothing. They just have a theory. So the thing is yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking about Delphi. That's why people like to call in and talk about Delphi. I'm just saying I think it was cool that you're calling in talking about the cases that we've talked about. That's how it should be, more of that than like I cover 87 cases in a month or something, and then all of a sudden we have a show and it's all about Delphi. It's like it'd be cool if people called in with the live shows and they actually wanted to go back and maybe talk about one of the cases that we talked about in depth, right?
That's kind of why I like to just talk about something that nobody else talks about. I actually have 3 jobs. But fortunately for me, I'm allowed to listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm allowed to listen to maybe YouTube or something like that at these 3 places. So actually, that's why I probably know the cases, is because I actually, while I'm working, I'm listening to that. So I can tell you right now, working 60 to 70 hours a week, I listen to a lot of true crime. And so, I can't stand the beat. Like I remember coming across other podcasts that would talk about the same cases, that everybody's talked about. And it's like, well, it's nice to hear another take on it, but it's like, why don't we talk about more like the Sophia Bairds? Why don't we talk more about the LaSalle Street murders? I think I called in a few weeks ago and I talked to you about that one. Just these ones that are, the newspaper coverage is better. The reporting is better. It's hard to do current crimes with the way they report things anymore. It really is, because people just don't really give out their information. Maybe it's a good thing they don't. I don't know. Too much speculation if they do that. Could be.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, listen, it was cool.
All right. Well, thank you again. I appreciate your time, Gray.
Thanks, Gwendolyn. Awesome. Great call. Thank you. See, that was cool. That was fun. It was, nice talking about some of the cases that we've talked about. We got Troll Central coming in. Troll Central. I don't know if I've done that one. Usually when people say, "Hey, have you done one on this?" that means a lot of people have talked about it, and then I don't end up wanting to do it. I was covering Delphi from the very beginning, though. The day they were missing, when they were actually still missing, we were talking about it. So, and I didn't really become a YouTuber until much later. But, I made videos on it right away because I needed to explain to people what seemed, at the beginning it wasn't obvious. Nothing was obvious in the Delphi case early on. Everybody goes, like the pictures on the bridge, nobody knew what side they were on. Nobody knew anything. And there was just the revelation of the forked tree in a YouTube video that somebody else found. I didn't even find that part. It completely changed everything for me because I knew how to put it together at that point. So you had the forked tree in the background. It could only be, and we knew where that picture was taken based on the foliage and everything like that. It was taken on the southeast side of the bridge. It wasn't the other side. But you got people that will argue with you for hours saying that no, it's selfie mode, so it's on the other side. Well, what do you mean? The forked tree isn't on the other side, though. So it can't be selfie mode. And now, it might have been selfie mode, and then they flipped it gets into ludicrous stuff. Hey, thanks, Susie. Appreciate it. Yeah, and that comment up above earlier was actually towards Michelle. She donates all the time as well. I mean, nobody has to donate anything. They just kind of know what we're doing here. I do my show. I need to feel like it's worth. I spend literally way more hours than a lot of other people do, like 6 hours a day, and then I do 3 hours a show, and we go over all kinds of different things, and I cover tons and tons of other cases that make. I bring in super chats, right? So even on the case where we cover the 1961 cold case, I'm bringing in super chats, or it's not even it's a cold case. I'm bringing in super chats, and then I send donations in to help current cases, right? And then our DNA fund's going to help old cases. So I don't need to explain. I always feel like I have to because there's a lot of idiots like these trolls that just showed up here a few minutes ago. They don't have a clue what's going on. They show up and they're just know that they're supposed to be a troll. So they'll type in whatever they want to say with no rhyme or reason to anything that they're saying. Yeah, so early on, I mean, that's sort of the history of it. Was the first night the girls were missing. There was all kinds of radio reports, not radio reports, but like television updates, and there was even video of people sort of at the fire station, people looking that very first night. Then the next day at around noon, after searching had already begun, they were finally found right around in this area. And there's the YouTuber, the grifter, he has the exact same everything on his screen, exactly the same spot where this is. That's how he knew where the crime scene was eventually, so he could go there. It's because I have it on here. All right, it's just it's creepy shit. I mean, have an original idea every once in a while, people. All right, here we go. 608. Yep, yeah, you got it. It's Cindy Lean? What's going on?
Cindy Lean.
All right.
I always want to call in on Delphi nights,
Yeah.
So, hey, Freak family, I just want to tell you guys again how much I love you, and I'm so blessed because I know these guys all make me laugh. And even though some of our topics are very serious,
yeah,
those jokes in there here and there, they keep things a little light anyway.
Yeah.
Like Zozo and her goofy stuff always makes me laugh. And
I always try to make people laugh a little bit.
Yeah, and of course,
but not
you,
at the
Gray,
case.
and John Boy, and
yeah,
and Mary Lou, of course.
Yeah, don't forget.
But also,
Hey, you forgot about me. You forgot about me.
yeah, we never forget about Mary Lou.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
So first of all, it was the Baird case the other night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you changed up the music, and my allergies are just awful right now. But you changed up the music to this. It was really cool background music and it reminded me back in high school when we used to read like Edgar Allan Poe, or like our teacher would play Edgar Allan Poe on tape or whatever, and I say tape, cassette tape.
Wow.
But the music, it just totally took me back to like listening to Edgar Allan Poe with that kind of music in the background.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was kind of different, and I like all the music you play or whatever you choose is always great. But it kind of add a little bit spookier,
Yeah. It made
it a little bit,
made it easier to read, because that's the same music I use on my podcast. I think there's actually not my podcast. I don't have a podcast. The other channel, Nefarious, on those videos.
Nefarious.
I just haven't. I have other videos to make. I just seem to.
I know, because everyone talks about it. I'm like, did you post more than I thought there was there two?
There's two now so far.
Two now, yeah.
I have like three already. Two already. My voice part done. I just have to edit. What I'm thinking of doing is just having, when I do these, is just have a map, and then draw lines where you're going, and then maybe show Street View really quick, then back out to the map, and just tell the story. But it's like a podcast with a visual when it's necessary. I'm not going to load it up with B-roll footage and some stock footage from somewhere to make it seem like it was going on at the time. I'm just gonna. The story will be how I'm telling it, and then I'm just gonna have a map and then a line moving around to different spots where it was, and that's it. So.
Yeah, the length of time on them is nice too. For like you said, I can sit through. I sort of got an hour passes, and the next thing you know, it's 3 hours later. Like I have no idea what happens. I start listening and chatting before you know. But I've been zonking out a little bit earlier than normal, but so I have a couple shows I'm trying to catch up on and just catch up where I left off, and they're so interesting. Oh, I felt so horrible for those boys, though. That just took me out. Ugh, what a sicko, weirdo. That it was Ruiz, I think, in Trinidad. Was it last night? The boys.
Mm-hmm. From last night.
Trinidad. That's all I can remember. And then Ruiz, I thought, or I don't know. But that just makes me just sick. Those that, you know, and you got to wonder, you know, you do, how much of it was his upbringing? Any part of it? Was he just mentally sick?
Well, no, because his upbringing, all the rest of his brothers were fine. I think it's just some people are just like that. You can't medicate somebody like that and have them be better. I totally disagree with people. Oh, if he just had some treatment. No, he's a
they're just not right in the head.
He's a psychopath. He's not changing.
Yeah,
he's going to be that way.
And again, here's my thing with Libby and Abby. Like I said, you know, and no, I don't know what happened. I don't know, would one have taken off without the other, but I just think that there are certain friendships in the world, you know, and there are certain people that you're so connected to that boy went back for his friend.
That was,
you know, I mean, he did. I mean, he who knows what was going on under that. He did, but in the mindset of, in his mind, he wasn't going to lose that friend. That was not going to happen. He was not going to, I don't think he thought that boy was really going to get killed. Like, I think he thought that the, you know,
I think he already
pig guy.
he already saw him being stabbed, and then he ran all the way out to the street to wave down cars or somebody. Nobody came, so the little 9-year-old goes all the way back there, picked up some rocks and his suspenders, and then the killer hid and then pounced on him. And just before he goes, "I'm going to kill you," and then he stabbed the kid 30 times.
Just so awful.
Oh,
but he went back. He just went back. You know, he's just a hero. You know, I just think there's just certain people,
What was interesting is that guy's name is Santiago, I think his name.
Right.
He,
the pig
I was looking up his name, and there was this Santiago that was killed that was a little older than him. Israel Santiago. He was killed in the same city not long after that. They just didn't know how he died, or he went missing. That's what it was. And I was thinking, God, you wonder if somebody thought that was him and did payback, because it was literally like 25 years after, and maybe they just assumed that was him, and made him go gone. You know.
I remember you. Yeah. You know, I wouldn't doubt it, because you know, you don't know. We don't have the technology they didn't back then, you know, that we have now, and not only that, but how much information even now can you pull up on certain cases, or you know. But so I just think, you know, with Libby and Abby, I don't know, it wasn't there. I just think, you know, would one leave? I don't know. That's just heartbreaking, and I just can't believe. I'm like in utter shock every time. I can't help myself. I have to watch other stuff to see what people are putting out there, and I'm in just utter shock every time of how these other YouTubers, I mean, they're literally like putting people's names out there, you know, as suspects. Like they're, I don't know. Like, do people know that they're these, you know, YouTube channels created about them? I don't know.
I don't watch the. I literally do not watch any, other than just if somebody goes, "Great, you should hear what this guy says," I'll go check it out. But I don't watch any of them, because they're not doing it because they're really trying to figure something out or anything. It's just purely for the views. So you got this crazy theories and wild stuff, and unfortunately, the same people that watch, you know, are addicted to reality TV. Not to say all reality TV, but those are the ones that just love it when it's just this crazy, intriguing story when it's all bullshit that you just heard. You know. So.
Well, I watched this one. It just kind of pulled up, and I was like, "Huh, what is this?" And it literally just gives us picture of this guy, and there's numerous videos about him. And I'm just like, if I were that guy, I would be so pissed, you know, and maybe he is the killer, who knows? You know, he's probably been looked at 1,000 times by now because of this dude's videos, or someone's had to have turned him in. Yeah. But now this is out there. I would be, and maybe he does know, and maybe he doesn't know, but I would want my name. I would want those videos removed.
Yeah.
You know, if it were me. And here you are. I mean, the suspects at the beginning were all kind of criminals, or they kind of put it out there themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Like they were known felons, if you would, or like...
Yeah, I would never bring up some random dude.
But these are just random town people that live, or then maybe they're not right in town, but they're, you know, close vicinity.
Yeah.
But they're, you know, they're businessmen. They're, you know, school people. I mean, to ruin someone's life based on what? I thank you more than ever for being honest and factful and truthful. And, you know, we don't know what we don't know. And I still think we're going to solve it. I still think someone's going to come forward, is going to get solved, and whatever. But I just can't believe it. It's just shocking.
Awesome.
Too. I would be so mad if my name was out there. And I don't know. I don't know how they get away with it.
Yeah.
It's really sad, but I think that you not pointing fingers and you're not sharing things that don't need to be shared. We don't need to know everything that's on that recording. You know, a little bit more would be nice. Like, can they give us more of a context? Like, you know, but, you know, we aren't the investigators. We're not. And do we want to fuck up a trial if one comes, you know, or we do? No, I don't want to be a part of that. I hope that it gets enough attention that somewhere in the United States, you know, if this guy lives who knows where, out of town, out of the state, someone remembers something or it clicks in their head, you know, and I do think that's what's going to happen. I think or someone's going to be guilty or they know it, you know. Yeah. And they're going to come forward. They're going to know somebody went to dinner with them and they got drunk together and he heard something weird or she heard something strange. But I just think that it's going to happen fast, and it's getting around more and more. It's just frustrating how negative it is getting around, and how I'm grateful that you're continuing to do these shows, even though I know it's frustrating with trolls. Right. And with people that are, you know, but hey, you're getting out the information that's right and true, and that hopefully that reaches the masses where, you know, it will come forward without all the bullshit.
Yeah.
But I love you, Gray, and I thank you, my freak family. You're wonderful.
All right, Cindy Lane. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, what's going on, iPhone? I usually don't put people on if you have a video, so go ahead and you're not going to be on the air anyways. But what do you got? Hello. You got to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, what's going on?
A lot of your videos and stuff like that, but I was just I don't know, I've been having I don't really have a certain theory or anything about the case or anything like that. It's just the only thing that I really strongly believe is I strongly believe that the police they gotta know who did it. I went over this over and over in my head, and it's just how can you have video, audio, and be coming from a town so small like that, and to say that we know that he's a local, and to the point where you're not even, they're pretty much said it we know he's a local, so it's almost as if they're not even open to the possibility of him being from somewhere else. Because if they even thought it was a possibility that he was from somewhere else, they would say that, and then people would look in other places, maybe he could be over here, maybe he could be over here. But they've pretty much zoomed in on the fact that, okay, he's got to be a local.
Well, they just think he might be, I don't know if they're saying he's local. Well, they know that he is, they think he's familiar with it. So it could be somebody that lived there before and came back to commit the crime because he knew the area and he knew what kind of people hung out there. Could be somebody that lives 10 miles away. My opinion is it's not somebody that lives in Delphi. I actually think it's somebody, they could live quite far away and they were just there to do this. And Robert Ives even said that he's not sure that the person is from there. You know, it could have been too that a lot of people are just assuming that he knew the area so well. Maybe not. You know, he could have just gotten to know it a little bit the day before. You know, like within the last 3 or 4 days prior to it. I mean, he did park over at the CPS building. They think there's a path that goes over there. You know, so there's some things that make you think that he was definitely, you know, that he was at least familiar with the area. But when did he become familiar with it? You know, that's the question.
Okay. Do you think that the police like maybe know who it is, but they just at this point, like maybe they got his DNA, but maybe like there's other reasons why his DNA could have been there, like as far as he could have been involved with the search, so they can't necessarily say that. Because I mean, what really was is like kind of like I didn't quite understand. They said we have his DNA, but we don't know if it's the DNA of the murderer.
Yeah. So well, here's what they have. This is what I think they have. I think they have a bunch of DNA, and there's they found some DNA that they haven't been able to attribute it to a specific person, but it doesn't match any of the people that they tested it to. But can you then say, oh, this is from the killer, or could it be touch DNA from somewhere else? I mean, that's the problem with DNA. If you have semen or blood, you are 100%. But if you're starting to do swabbing for touch DNA, that could have came from anywhere, right? You literally, I mean, this is how, when Colleen Fitzpatrick was on, she was talking about a case where a paramedic was on a case, they touched somebody, then later on, they were at another case, touched somebody, and then somehow the DNA from one person got over onto this crime scene, and then they thought he was the killer. But it was really just the paramedic happened to be at two different places, right? So then, so now if there was semen they had, that would lead directly to an individual, and so would blood. But they don't have something like that. I think it's kind of clear that they don't have something like that.
Okay. Now, do you think that they were specifically the intended targets, or do you think that they just came out there to just maybe knew that the kids are out of school, so kids would be walking there that day? Or
yeah, I mean, I've thought about that quite a bit. I don't think that they were specific targets of his prior to them getting there, but they became his target when they slowly worked their way into the trap that he had set up. So he was waiting for somebody to probably even go onto the bridge, and then they just happened to walk all the way across, and then he made his move at some point, and then they didn't come back. The part about school, I think on the last time we did a show, somebody called in and said that they actually publicize the school makeup days. So maybe somebody did know, but again, wouldn't that be the worst day to go do this? Because let's say you have a park that, you know, there's people that show up there, and you could really get somebody isolated out there on a Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock, a female jogger, right? But why would you go out there during a school day off when it's sunny, when there could be tons of kids there and all kinds of witnesses? Yeah, there just happened to be this crazy window that he found of time, because there was literally people back on the bridge at 3 o'clock, literally within 40 minutes of when they were taken down the hill. So there was people all around prior, and then there just this window showed up where there wasn't anybody. Then they were taken down the hill and then murdered. So it's hard to say. Again, I mean, that's the thing about this. A lot of that stuff, there's no concrete information on it.
Okay. And this is another thing I thought about. What do you think about, because you know, when at that kind of age range, a lot of parents and stuff like to have access to their kids' social media accounts. So what do you think that about maybe a parent of one of Abby and Libby's friends, maybe looking at their social media and maybe seeing that, and maybe seeing through watching their social media that Abby and Libby were out on that trail?
Yeah, well,
And
in the podcast that I do with Morph and let's see, all of a sudden I can't remember her name. It's not popping into my head. This time I've said it 1,000 times. But anyway, we did a podcast, and no, Jess Betancourt's her name. Sorry. We interviewed Robert Ives, and in that incident, he actually mentioned that they didn't find anything the time when he was there for the first year that led them to believe that social media played a role. Now, also in the same podcast, Kelsey, for us, interviewed Carter, and Carter said, when asked that very same question, said, "We have lots. We have lots." So I don't know what that means. You know, see, Carter's one of those guys that he says stuff and you're never really sure exactly what he's saying. Because they said, well, was social media, did it play a role? Do you have anything regarding that? We have lots. We have lots. So I don't know what that means.
Okay.
So that's double two, right? You have complete reversal. It's a little bit like the sketches where he said, "We are now focusing in on this person." And then about a week later on a show, he said, "Well, it's somewhere in between the two sketches."
Yeah, that was very confusing with the whole sketches, and then to say that he might be 18 years old, like you can clearly tell that guy on that bridge was nowhere near, had to been at least 35. In his late 20s. Yeah. But there was no way he was a teenager.
Yeah, I don't see it that way either. They must have. But the thing that is interesting though is the sketch that we see now was actually the first sketch that was made. It was made right away, right after, within 3 days after the murder. That sketch was made. They just didn't put it out because they too looked at the video and went, that doesn't look like. So let's come up with, using maybe another witness, and they came up with the sketch. And then later, after 2 years, when that didn't pan out, they said, well, let's go back to that first one. So now we see this young person. But I don't know. Whenever I look at the new one, it's hard to see. It's hard to tell, I can't see that person on the bridge. It looks like a sort of an older guy that's not really that in great a shape, just kind of walking around, kind of. I think he looks like he's about 40.
And even the witnesses, the dog walker lady and the flannel shirt guy.
Well, I'm not even sure. See, the thing is about the dog walker. We don't know that that's even a reality. The person that you're hearing that on the channel, they're like a grifter type. They go around and they make up stuff to get views. They take everybody else's work and apply it to their own show. And so we don't really know. We don't really know that that's until law enforcement says. Or a family member says that there was a lady walking a dog that saw the killer, then I'm not going to believe it. All right?
Now the flannel shirt guy was real, right?
Yeah, the flannel shirt guy is a guy that exists because Derrick said that. And his name is known. He has a brother. They're old, though. They're like in their 60s or 70s. So apparently, but that same person's claiming he saw the suspect. We don't even know if that's true. I mean, has that guy ever come on the news and say, "Yep, I saw the killer myself. This is what he looked like," and it just never hasn't happened. Okay, so that's all I can say is we don't know 100% sure that either one of those two people exists, and I try to just put out the stuff that's known. Okay,
so where did the sketches come from? So we don't really know where the sketches.
Oh, they came from witnesses, but we don't know who those people are because they probably don't want their name out there. Some people, I think their names might be known by some people. They're just not going to come forward and start talking. So even if you say, "Oh yeah, it was so and so," they're not going to come, "Oh yeah, it was me," now and start revealing what they saw and all that. It'd be great, though. I mean, I think it'd be awesome if we could hear from the witnesses and let people maybe ask questions and try to get a little better feel for what we're looking for here and why they think that they saw the suspect, right? Or the killer, because the person we see in the video is the killer. It's not somebody else. So that person that we're seeing there, what makes them think that they saw that person? Because you have one that's, oh, he looks 18, the other one looked 40 with a beard. Right? Yeah, it's confusing stuff. We don't know. Look, it's possible the stuff about the dog and the flannel shirt guy witnessed something. I can't say it's not possible. I'm just never going to agree or believe anything that person says on that channel because I know what kind of person they are. Right? So
Yeah.
it might end up being true, and that's great. That's great and everything, but it also doesn't help solve it in any way to know who the witnesses were, right? It just sort of puts a mark on a story, but it doesn't really help solve it, knowing that if the flannel shirt guy saw the suspect, okay, that's awesome. How does it help solve it?
Yeah. Now, do you think law enforcement? I remember watching on something that one of the officers said that they're zoomed, that he's got like 2 or 3 people in mind. Do you think that they're pretty much zoomed in on those 2 or 3 people, or do you think they're open to the possibility of it not being them, or do you think they're like pretty sure that okay, it's one of these people here, or do you think that they're kind of open to the possibility of it being somebody else?
Yeah, it's the well, it's. I mean, I think I don't hope they don't have tunnel vision. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just focused.
I mean, if they did have tunnel vision, I would think it would be for a reason. I think it would be for
well,
good
they always
cause.
have, but it's always like that, right? When anybody has tunnel vision, it's always for a reason. But then it turns out they're not right. So I think they're always open. They might be interested. I hope. Listen, I hope they're interested in at least one person. And they actually think it might be him. I think that'd be awesome. But, hopefully that they're still open to anything new that comes in.
Okay.
Anything else? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry. I was just that's probably about it. I just wanted to put my little input in for a second and see what your thoughts were.
Yeah, so I appreciate you calling in. It was good stuff. I was nervous though when there's a video. Usually they're trolls that have the videos, but you weren't.
No.
You weren't one though. I can see you. I can see you, but nobody else could. But I can see you.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye. Yeah. What do you mean? What's going on? There isn't a ton of rules, Daro. It's just the rules are. People can say stuff, even if it's a really dumb thing, and you leave their comment. What we delete are the people that are trolls. Immediately they come in and they bash me or the channel and everything like that. You just delete those people. Yeah. I'm not going to mod my mods. I'm just we've gone over the different things. And then also, who was the guy that was from earlier? And by the way, thanks for that call. Rambo Shirok. I don't think the comment he said when he asked me that question needed to be deleted. He just asked me about the George Floyd case. And it's okay to ask that. You could just say, yeah, he's already answered that. You don't need to delete it or put him on timeout or anything for that. That's crazy, right? And then of course he's going to get mad at that because that's a dumb thing to get his, deleted about. And then he's going to say something. And then now that he's talking back to you, doesn't mean all of a sudden, oh, I'm going to delete him now. Okay? Let's just be reasonable about stuff. He had a right to sort of get angry for having the comment deleted. I don't care who the guy is. I'm just saying his comment wasn't anything wrong. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Anyway, the comment that I saw got deleted shouldn't have been deleted. I don't know what he's been saying other than that. But just try to be a little bit less, confrontational as well. Really, I always get a little bit bummed out when Baba shows up. Just kidding, just kidding. Nah, I like having the number of mods that I have. They're always doing good, looking out. But there's some nights where a lot of crazy shit goes on. Yeah, everybody hit that like button, okay? You might as well do this. If you hate my channel, hit the dislike button. If you like it, hit the like button. Either way, it helps me out. I really appreciate it. All right? So go ahead and hit that really quick. I'd appreciate it.
I'm fired out of it, not
hit the like button, 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 hit the
30, sir, 25
like
of them, you're out. I'm 25, 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Yeah, I like the Winterhawks. Box showing. He put the biscuit in the basket. No, I haven't. I've looked up, well, I mean, I guess on newspapers.com I've looked it up, yeah. Thank you. And we're only up to 232 and there's 394 in here. One more time.
I'm fired out of
hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 75, 85, 90.
30, 25, 30. You want to put 30, sir, 25 of them, you're out. I'm 25, 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Hey, Rambo, are you saying you're back because you were just on here with another account and then came back with this one? Just checking. Because it's weird to say I'm back, Nobody cares, you know what I mean? Hey, everybody, I know people were waiting for me to come, and I'm back, everybody. Now the show can start. All right, nobody cares at all. Let me just tell you this. Just for your own good, when you're in another chat somewhere, you don't need to tell people that you're going to go take a pee or go get something to eat. Nobody gives a shit, okay? And then when you come back 45 minutes later, don't sit down and go, hey, I'm back, everybody. Because there isn't a soul that cares, all right? Thank you very much. Yeah, let's get that up to 300. Well, actually, there's a few people that if they said they were back, I'd say, oh, good. All right. But, like, honest to God, just start talking again. That's all you got to do. All right? Okay, see, there you go. Why are you so upset, Rambo? See, now you're gone. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the reason. I just said when you show up, nobody cares. You don't need to say, I'm back. Sounds like you signed in with, you were on another account, and then you sort of gave away that you were on another account when you came back, right? So then you say, hey, I'm back, everybody, because you quickly signed on with the other account. You were on with the other one. Awesome. Good luck, though. All right, Rambo? I tried to help you out earlier, but then you got a little crazy on us. What's going on, Dave? Are you the other account? And try to not just type in all caps. Just because your whole name is in caps doesn't mean you need to type that way, right? Or has your computer been stuck in all caps since you created your account and you just didn't know it? You're always wondering, why the hell is it doing this way? Right? So you got all caps in your name and then all caps in the writing. I wonder if it's just been stuck that way for years. Yeah. So when I said you don't need to announce that you're back, my response was, STFU Gray Hughes, no one will give an F when you die. Okay? See, that's how you could tell that person. Now I know for sure that they were a troll. It was a good test because that should have just been something funny, like, you're right. I don't need to announce that I'm back in the chat. I mean, Jesus, just start typing again. Oh, I guess I'm going to mean jail now.
Gray, you're so mean.
Okay. I'm in jail now, unfortunately. Oh boy. Dun, 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 dun. Good evening, Walker Fishing.
Mean jail, please. Upside down face.
Yeah. I know why, Brian. Weren't you around like years ago on the or on the Facebook page? I've already explained why. I heard from somebody, and everything else they said was confirmed, and then I confirmed it somewhere else. So, all right. Thanks, Michelle Nicholas and Lee D.
Public defender donation.
Is that enough? Let's see. Public defender. Okay, about it. There it is. See? 2 people involved. Well, they just, sketches, you have to rely on somebody. Maybe they decided to pick somebody else, Tina. Seems really obvious. I don't know what you're talking about. Of some trials. But yeah. Yeah, everybody was around when we created the... we had a small group of people when I made the first video that just said crime scene flow. And then that was even the one that Ives commented on. But I actually deleted the video because I made an error on some other portion of it. And then I re-uploaded the fixed version. So that's the one that just says crime scene flow on it. That's my term, by the way. So if you ever hear anybody saying flow of the crime or crime scene flow, I didn't copyright it though. Hey, thanks, Jordina Stoliker, Michelle Nicholas, Lee D, Cairo, Susie Heath, LM, Patricia M, and Lynette Burns. Yeah. Well, there was a lot of YouTube videos out there that had that actually showed the trails. Was it that video? Remember that guy? It had that kind of funky music to it. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting one. But the flow was because I watched a Twitter video of a reporter with a crooked tree, and then this lady on another Facebook group pointed out the forked tree but never believed it was on that side of the bridge. And so that's what everything kind of came together. And then that down the hills on the southeast side across the creek, now everybody talks about, oh, it's so obvious, everybody. It's so obvious. Well, yeah, now it is. But everybody in here that was around during that time, when they think back, you'll remember that it was horrendous. It was... Nobody had a clue. Nobody had a clue where anything was. Just a couple photographs on the bridge. You didn't know what side of the bridge the suspect video was on because it was so small until that forked tree came out. Then everybody knew. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't use that one. The kill zone. It's ridiculous. And what's weird is they say kill zone referring to like 87 places. Come on, LM, you can't say something like that. That's stupid. Don't say stuff like that. Yeah. I like all the Aussies. Alright. Yeah, kill zone. Yeah. Yeah, it was funny the other day when Harvey was bashing me into oblivion for no reason at all, other than I just said that I don't agree with what he has on his videos and that some of the stuff I thought was ludicrous. And then he started making up stuff about he would put posts of people saying stuff about what Kelsey thought, and then Kelsey actually went on there and completely discredited every single thing that he said. And yet it stayed up there for a few days and now it's gone. But it was interesting how even after that, his supporters, they were a little bit shyer, only a few, but a few were like, oh, okay. You got to look at stuff like that. Okay, K-Wing. I can talk about him all whenever I want to. He talks about me all the time. I don't dislike him as a person. All right? Okay. Right. Yeah, I don't dislike him as a person. I just think, I don't agree with any of his videos at all. There's nothing of value that I get from him. I did in 1 hour more than 18 hours of any of his videos. Yeah. Well, it took me a ton of hours to come up with the crime flow, right? Yeah, I do remember, like, Brian and I would sort of work on, different, I can't remember exactly what it was, trying to figure out certain aspects. What? Come on, you guys. What's going on with you guys? Can you guys just all do a big group hug? You guys are acting like little kids in there. The whole thing, it's crazy. I'm actually reading it for once. That was fun. You were a soccer fan too. The Timbers were pretty good last year until Blanco got injured. Yeah, what's going on in there? Jesus. It's wild. It's like the Wild West in there. Everybody do a group hug, okay? Are we happy freaks? What's happening? Yeah, I don't know why people are actually fighting. Yeah, he took the one down. I just didn't, I know that the people that watch him probably think, oh, they're amazing. I don't. And since people send me, I go over there and I see it and I'll go, yeah, this isn't accurate. Then all of a sudden you had to put out a bunch of fake videos about me over and over again. I would never do that. I would never put videos about Harvey, make whole long videos and try to sell some fake shit to people, because I don't do that. When I make a debunking video, it's actual debunking, like literally shredding what somebody said into oblivion. Hey, thanks, Walker Fishing. He said group hug, everybody. So, LM, I want you to hug Michelle Nicholas and all the Aussies all at one time. Okay? And actually, everybody, it's not really, guys, down the hill. There's a guy named Guy. There's a person named Guy that's down the hill, and he's merely telling him, hey, guys, down the hill. Hey, Guy is down the hill. That's a joke, okay? Yeah. I like Aussies. G'day, mate. I got 89,000. That's me all your score, mate. That's right, Daro. How's it going, Daro? Why don't you call in? Come on, just call in just for the hell of it. All right. And I'll be back in just a second. All right. Where is it, Daro? Come on. I thought you'd just be on hold right when I came back. Man. Your voice always makes everybody happy. You don't have any... Who cares if you have haters, Daro? Just call in. Jesus. Who doesn't have haters? Hey, trolls out there, put a 1 in the chat if you hate me. Okay? Go ahead. Put a 1 if you hate me. Hey, thanks, Daro. Yeah, I think there's definitely some more audio. Thanks, you guys. You guys are so nice. Daro hates me. Patricia hates me. Oh, Brianna hates me. Okay. We'll get rid of her in a few minutes. See, now Brian, he put a variable that is 1, but it could equal anything. Okay. Yeah. Call in, Daro. Come on. Who cares? Jesus. Woo. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Rhonda. We'll see you on another channel. How about this, Rhonda? Why do you hate me, Rhonda? Tell me why you hate me, just so I can know. I'll work on it really hard.
Will you really, Gray? Will you really work on it for people like Rhonda?
Well, no, but I just want to hear what the reason is. It's Juan, not 1. Okay. Yeah. Hello. Hello? 734 *6. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I can. Going down
Jesus.
on broadside. 1 Kai here. I got chased into the woods. Please hurry.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm out
You
here
gotta start it over.
on both sides. I'm just going to try to do it by memory. Let's see if we can do it by memory.
Me too. Let's do it. Yeah. Okay, hold on 1 second. 911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, I'm out here on Abilene, going on both sides. Well, there's one guy here. I got chased into the woods. Please hurry.
Okay.
Because when I started talking to him, oh, God, I had it, man. I didn't interrupt.
Do you need
that was great.
Do you need an ambulance?
No, just the cops.
Is anybody hurt? Hello?
When I started talking to him, I totally ran into him. Well, okay.
See?
Okay, let's just do it one more time. Okay, one more time. I think I can do it the whole thing. All the way through. Let's see.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
911 emergency.
Yeah, I'm out here in Abilene. 2 cars here driving on both sides. I got chased into the woods. Please hurry.
Okay, now run that by me.
Because when I started talking to him, I totally ran into him.
Ah, you ran into him. Okay.
Just the first guy.
Do you need an ambulance?
No, just the cops.
Is anybody hurt? Hello? Hello?
Boom!
Wow, good job,
I kind of
Papa
messed
Zoe.
up on the first. I screwed up on the first part, but it was cool.
Yeah, but you did good.
Yeah.
I cheated. I opened it up.
Oh, you did?
My other phone. Yeah.
God. I just did it by memory.
Well, come on.
Yeah.
Do you have somebody else waiting? If you want, you can mute me. Take the call, and I'll come back.
Or you can just stay on. How about that? Let's see.
Yeah, I'll stay on. I'll mute myself. Let me mute myself.
All right. Caller. Hey, caller, you got to unmute yourself, whoever this is. Unmute. Hello. Who's this? How would I remember Alvin from New Hampshire? What's going on, Alvin from New Hampshire? I don't remember you at all.
Should be grateful to have you and all the work you've done.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I haven't been able to do a lot of like newer work other than like fix up the, the walk cycle so you can see the way it moves better. But early on, I pretty much, and I can't just say it was just me because I had people like, Baba, and I think it was who was the other, Bonnie Rame and different people. Hell, I mean, even what's her name? I can't remember her name. They all went out there and filmed because I don't live anywhere near there, but they filmed for me while I was on the phone. And Julie Melvin even did a video for me that's really useful for me. Okay, and she made it for me and I used it. And then just conversations I had. Even Brian in there. I mean, the flow theory though was based on me looking at some Twitter footage of a reporter and this bent tree, and then figuring out the locations in general of where the different Snapchat photos were taken and that kind of thing. And then later on with Beth and Bonnie, we dialed it in to a really specific spot on the bridge of the 2 photographs and the video. So we knew exactly where those were, and so that even further proved the theory that they crossed the bridge, went down the hill, across the creek, and into the crime area. Everybody else thinks that, it's so obvious now. Yeah. Things become obvious. Like when somebody said that 2 + 2 = 4, at one point there, what do you mean? Oh, and now it's obvious to everybody. Okay, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. But it wasn't obvious at the time, so I hate when people try to say that it's obvious now. So what's going on?
No, I get it. I'm just saying, just not even that. You just keep it alive. I mean, you're doing the show at least, seems to me, once a week, bringing it back out.
Yeah, I'm trying to do, like on Sundays, maybe a call-in where people can talk about whatever they want. And if they want to talk about Delphi, that's cool too. Unless there's some breaking information, then I'll get right back into it again. Like if they release anything new, I'll do my own analysis of it and I'll put that out. And you can bet on that it won't be some crazy wacky look at it. It'll be a rational look at it, and then you can go to the other channels to get the crazy shit related to it.
And that's my whole point. Like, you're just a breath of fresh air, because when you know you're listening to you, there's no bullshit, subjective nonsense, and it's all factual. And I just feel like sometimes you're underappreciated. And I know you have your faithful followers and whatnot, but the trolls, man, it seems like they've been getting worse. It seemed like they were good for a little bit, but the last couple months it's been like...
Well, the trolls are the ones that support they support the channels. I never really mentioned their names. So what's weird is they're assuming I'm talking about the channels that they support. But... you know, I mentioned Harvey's name because he talked about me for a long time, and I was just saying I don't dislike Harvey. He seems like he'd probably be a pretty funny guy to hang out and have a beer with or something. But I don't have any, like, his videos don't do anything for me at all. I literally just, you know, I don't get anything out of them. So maybe people shouldn't send me the link so that I go to it and check it out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I have your back, man. You know you don't remember me.
Well, I remember your voice now. I don't remember the name, though.
Sure, you're the people wouldn't remember, because every time they thank me when I come on and stuff. So.
No, I remember your voice now.
Listening.
Just say it again. Then I'll remember it the next time. Go ahead. Say the whole thing.
Alvin from New Hampshire.
Alvin from New Hampshire, everybody. All right. So everybody needs to type in next time, or this time even. Alvin from New Hampshire. All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Alvin. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. And keep up the good work, and we'll keep praying and keep our fingers crossed something happens. I feel like it's on a different track this year. It just feels like there's an energy. Something's going to happen.
That's what I feel like, too. I feel like there's some momentum towards something. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. I'll keep listening. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Daro?
Gray, what's your theory? Can we hear your theory?
My theory?
I don't think you've ever said your theory. Yes, please.
Well, no, I mean, I've said it. I just think it's some guy that, you know, a killer that was out hunting for his victim and was on the trail. You know, that's where he chose it for a reason. You know, he obviously got to know it at some point. We don't know when or what. I don't think he lives... My theory is he doesn't live in Delphi. I think he doesn't live in his grandmother's basement, and he doesn't play video games in the basement. I think he's somebody who probably has a normal seeming life with other people, but he has this overwhelming need to do what he's doing, killing, and so he went there that day, and he just kind of... You know, it seems like he wasn't completely planning on exactly how to do what he was doing. He just knew that what the traffic was, and then he saw two girls going into an area where he knew there was nobody at that time. So even though they crossed the bridge, he might not have ever even have crossed the bridge, let's say. But he was comfortable like Beth is. Like Beth could have easily walked across the bridge quickly the first time. And so this guy is probably somebody who's not as fearful of heights. Let's say he hadn't crossed before. He sees them going across, and when they're over halfway, he makes his move and starts going, and those girls aren't going to want to pass him coming back. So he kept going and goes all the way to the end of the bridge. The girls did. And then he kept coming. He caught up to them just as... Abby's still on the bridge a little bit, even in the video, but they cropped her out, and you only see the small little bit that the killer was in. And then he catches up to him, pulls out a gun, has him go down the hill. I've always thought maybe he meant to take him to that little corner. There's a corner back over in this area, right over here, that I thought maybe he meant to take them to way back in here, because it's really hidden back here. And they may have made a run for it, and then he caught them over here, and then he killed them. And then he got out on this side somewhere is how he got out. So I don't think he crossed back over the creek. He went out, you know, we don't know if he went out through the cemetery, then walked down 300 for a little bit and then cut back to get on the trail, or where he even could have done it back here, and then he got out, and if they think that his car was there, he got in the car and drove away. But he might have come back and drove back like this. You know, it's interesting that he parked the car, as I said on my show, and then somebody else copied the next day that he parked over there. Hey, what's going on?
Can I ask you a question? Do you have somebody?
Oh, no. They hung up, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. I want to ask your opinion. Do you think he killed before? And if not, do you think he will kill again? Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Yeah, I think he's definitely somebody that would kill again. Hey, thank you very much, Allie Sparkles. Spreading the love from Aussie land. Ring 111 and ask Freak Patrol. Well, anyways, thank you very much.
Nice, freaks. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, let's see. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing, is he definitely seems like the type that would have killed before, or could have killed before, or could have killed after. You know, because he's a serial killer type. I don't think this was like his first, but it could be like the John Miller and the April Tinsley case, where he only killed one person.
Oh yeah, it's true. That's true. And never killed again.
And yet he's exactly a serial killer type, right?
Right.
He's very, very similar.
How old do you think he is?
Well, I think I mean, looking at the video, I think he looks like he's like 30 to 50. You know, 18's hard for me to. I can't see it. You know, and yet they think he might be. So it's hard to say.
Oh, people believe he's 18?
Well, yeah, law enforcement. They said he's between 18 and 40.
Oh, he does not. No, I agree with you, actually, 30 to 50. I was thinking like late 30s, early 40s. That's my opinion. That doesn't look like an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't clearly see him, but you know what I mean? Like, just looking at the body and the way he moves, I don't know. I don't think he looks young. And he's definitely not dressed young. Do you think he's dressed young?
No, I think he looks just like all the adults look like there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have two younger brothers. You know, one is 22 and one is 25, and they do not dress like this at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't make sense. But anyways, all right, I'll let somebody else call.
I saw a video once, a long time ago. I don't remember where it is now, but I think some of the people in Actual would remember. I remember a video where there was like 10 guys, and they were going to like an old, I don't know, it looked like they were going inside of a caboose at a park or something. And there was all the other people walking around, and every single person in the video had on the blue jeans, the blue jacket, a hat, brown shoes. It was like, oh my God, no wonder. Everybody looks the same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Baba's saying everybody dresses like that in the country, but yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't look like a young person to me. I agree more with you. So. Yeah.
Well, I think what she's saying is, you know, I mean, I don't think she's referring to like an 18-year-old kid. You know,
I think she's talking about adults. You're right.
Yeah, like I think more adults, like almost all the guys wear stuff that looks just like that. You know, maybe even the kids, right? I mean, shit, they got around the country, they got the jeans on. Oh man, let's just line them all up and see. It's crazy.
Well, let me ask you one last question, and I'll let somebody else call. Do you think this is the year they're gonna catch him?
Well, that's what I do. I don't know. That's what I wrote on a Facebook group. I said this year. That was my prediction. But I've said that before. But it felt like there was some momentum going. I think they really do need to take the advice of some other people who think they should release more information. I think that would help a lot.
And that's what I've been saying. Why do you believe they're not releasing any more information? I mean, it's been 4 years. Why? It just doesn't make sense. In your opinion, why do you think they're not going to release any more?
Well, there must be. They're balancing giving away stuff that only they know. And, it's weird. I think they're still hoping that some tip will come in. That one piece, everybody always goes, I wonder what that piece is. Well, here it is, everybody. The one piece is something that's a clue that leads directly to the killer, okay? We don't know what that's going to be, but there isn't this specific little thing that they're just trying to get and line it up, okay? It's just a general comment saying, listen, we just need that one piece. And what that is the name of the killer. Okay, well, isn't that how it always is? Or something that leads right to him, right? Like a tip that leads to the kill, something like that. But it's funny how, that's how it always is. If you don't know who it is, then yes, the one thing that you need is something that leads directly to the killer, which could be a number of things.
Right. Could be a confession, and then you go and tell the cops something that they never told anybody, and that means you know who the killer is.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, call in, freaks. Come on, call in. Thank you, Gray. It's wonderful. I love to always talk to you, Gray.
That was fun. One guy here. Please hurry. Because when I started talking to
you ran into him.
Just the first guy. Wow. Hello?
All right, take care.
All right, see you later.
Hello. Bye, Gray.
See you later.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, anything else for anybody? We're at that 3-hour mark, so probably gonna get out of here. Got some good callers tonight. Alvin, lots of good ones. Yeah. See, like that comment up there where somebody, wait. See, it's okay to mention Garrett Kurtz's name, everybody. Garrett Kurtz is a murderer. So if somebody says, see, you got to know what, about the case. So if somebody up there says, I still think Garrett Kurtz is the murderer, that comment can stay because Garrett Kurtz is a murderer. He's killed 2 people. I'm not saying that I think that he's the Delphi suspect, but, he was interesting at one time because he knows Ron Logan's property, and he's killed 2 people. And then he also had something a long time ago that on his Facebook page that the cops were interested in him about an assault on a 14-year-old, which was like, oh, well, that's kind of weird too. But it doesn't sound like it's him at all. Yeah, and it's okay. Like if somebody's already a criminal and they were a one-time suspect, it's definitely okay to bring their name up. Why would you ever do an age progression on a sketch? Just listen to what you just typed in there, Cisco Kid. Why not do an age progression on the young sketch? Because it's just a sketch anyways. It doesn't mean anything. It's a general likeness to somebody. I can't stand when people alter the sketch. There's this person out there that took the old and the new one and then used one of the, like one of those image blending deals, and they blended them together. It's insane. Who's this Bundy guy? Yeah, just get rid of him. All right. Hello, caller. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, I can hear you. What do you got? Yeah, what's that? So you think they already have the guy, but they don't?
Yeah, I think they know who it is. I'd say they're probably 90 to 95% sure who it is, but just are kind of waiting for him to slip up.
Yeah. Hey, hold on 1 second. I gotta get this. Hello? All right. All right. Sorry about that. I had to, it was my wife heading home.
Oh, no problem, man.
All right. So you think that they already know who it is, and they're just not going to give out any more information because they don't want to tip the guy off, right?
Well, not just that. I just don't think it would be beneficial for them to release anymore because they know who it is.
Right.
So
why let
they're
it
just
out?
kind of waiting for some little thing or a little more time to gather something, and it's just, that's the only thing that makes sense why they wouldn't release anything else. Because I can't figure out another reason why they haven't.
I know, but we say that a lot though. Like there's a million cases out there where they don't release other information, and then after it's over, there's all this information, and you go, well, shit, why didn't you release that before? You might have caught the guy 8 years before. So there's a lot of cases where they hold on to it. They just like to keep information. I mean, it seems like they should be able to find some information they can release that's new, but still hold on to most of the information that only the killer knows, right? It seems like they should be able to be releasing something, but that could help too. Like if there are signatures, why not mention what maybe those were? Because then there might be somebody out there that goes, oh my God, I always thought this guy looked like him. But now that you say that, I know who this is, right? Let's say the signatures were dolls. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. They're not dolls, everybody. Or maybe they are, I don't know. Let's just pretend that they were a certain kind of doll. And then you bring it up. Hey, this doll was there. And then somebody goes, oh, wow. I always suspected him, but he's got this collection of dolls that are... And then that would lead to somewhere, right? So that's why they need to release something. You still there?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just thinking that's... If they don't have a clue, or they're not even close, then I just think it'd be kind of ridiculous for them not to have released something else.
Well, it could be, but see, that's even what Ives was saying when they didn't have a clue. He said, why don't they release... He thought way back when, even in 2017 or 18, that they should release more information that they have, but they just decided not to. So back then, I don't think they had who it was, maybe. I mean, he didn't know. At least that's
right,
what
and
he
they
said.
still didn't release that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why then they didn't release
Well,
it.
that's really kind of puzzling because he would have been the prosecutor, and he's saying they should have released more, so that kind of is aggravating, to say the least. That's...
Yeah, it's weird because it's like there must be a hierarchy that he didn't... Well, basically what he's not part of the investigation. But the prosecutors just put the case together and try the person.
Yeah.
He did go to the crime scene apparently and all that. So, that's important for them to see the magnitude of what's going on. And but yeah, I don't think they get to have any of the strategic input as much on the what's released. I don't know. Maybe because you would think that it would matter what's released because that affects the case. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so maybe they do have... It just must not trump somebody else. Like, I would think Carter and some of the higher up, even after that, at that level, get to make the final decision.
Yeah. I mean, just, geez, you think they would do something, though.
Yeah.
You think any of that leaker stuff was true, any of it?
I don't think so. I mean, I asked a family member, and they said that they were assured by police that it wasn't, but maybe they were told to tell anybody that. I don't know.
Exactly.
So it's like I don't think it's valid at all because here's why I don't. Part of the story in that one was that it was somebody of an authority figure that said, "Hey, I got to get you down the hill and something's wrong with the bridge, or, some crap like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But none of that stuff is in any of the narratives that people have said they saw when they watched the video. They all said that they didn't know who it was, and there was nothing about some ruse like that. It was, they heard it, it was, hey guys. And then there's a click that they believe is a gun cocking, and he says, down the hill. He wasn't saying go down the hill because we need to get you out of this dangerous spot. I mean, if you can pick out anybody, authority figure out there that would pull out a gun to get you out of, to force you to do something for your safety, that never happens, okay? So there's stuff that doesn't jive with the witnesses that have seen the video, right? So that's why I don't think any of it's true after I heard that part. And I asked, and they were told that it wasn't.
The only thing that would make sense about that is how they would have gone so easily. Even, if he had a gun and maybe showed it, but
because guns make you, but guns make you do stuff. It doesn't.
Oh yeah,
you're
absolutely.
Easily going to do something when a gun, no matter how you do it. They might have just made a run, tried to make a run for it, possibly down by the creek, because then they knew they were in a really bad situation down there. But we don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I just figured I don't know. I hope something will happen this, next couple of years or sooner than that.
Yeah, me too.
If that's the one reason why I was thinking, maybe that's why they haven't released anything, is because they have the guy, and by releasing it's not going to help anything at all, except, it might hurt that prosecution while they're releasing anything else.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it's been over 4 years now. They have the guy on video. They have his voice. People know who that is.
Yeah,
somebody's got to come forward.
Yeah, it's actually absolutely bizarre. I mean, Ives says that in the podcast that we made. He said, if you told me that we could have an image of the guy and his voice, I would be ecstatic. But we just haven't been able to figure out who the guy is. I mean, it's unbelievable, So
it's insane.
Especially with all the resources they pumped in there too, right? Like, they got the FBI, the Indiana State Police, every single thing was thrown at this early on too, not days later, like right away, and still
right away
this person slipped through the cracks. Unbelievable.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I know, it's pretty wild. But
and somebody knows who that guy is. Like,
well, I think they need to do a blitz. They need to take the audio and the video. I would use my version, by the way, and put it out there and put it in all markets on all television stations. Once or twice a day for a week. Do you guys recognize this? Here's a number, and do it in the whole country and see if there's somebody, that might recognize. And does it make sense? And even have that part of it. Listen to this voice. Does it make sense they may have been in Indiana in 2017? And here's the voice. All right? And then play it and then say, if you know who this is, call this number, play it one more time, then boom, go back onto your news. But just do it, man. It's only going to take you 30 seconds. Get it out there.
Yeah, that's why I never understood why they released the guy's part, so much later down. It's just, none of that made sense, because why hold that back? The more you can hear the guy, the better chance someone's going to know who that person is. Do you think there's any more of him talking on that?
I wouldn't doubt it. They even said that they're on the phone. There's more photographs that they took, not just the 2 Snapchat ones.
So release those. You never know what could be in that picture. That's, you know what I mean? I think I heard you say, you could find something in the picture that they're not even looking for, or possible. The family. It's just.
Yeah, I think that they probably have really looked at those pictures, and if they found something useful, they might. Maybe it's really small. They're not going to show. Well, here, let's just throw this out there. The video, the image of Abby. Let's say you could see the bridge guy back there, the killer. we'll call them. I call them bridge guys. See, it's so part of it. It sucks. But anyway.
Well, it's because it's been set for 4 years. It's kind of hard to change it.
It's hard to change it, but I think it's just so ludicrous. But anyways, you got...
I just say scumbag.
Yeah. Like, you can actually see the... Let's say you could see the bridge guy. I'll say it just for you guys. The whack job killer right back there, right at the start of the bridge. But it's not going to be clearer than the video that we saw because it's 60 feet away. So they wouldn't even release that one. I mean, they would have released that photo and say, look, there he is, but nobody would be able to use it to identify him because we've already got a much better version in the video that Libby took, right? So and let's say there was photographs. If it had a better picture of the guy, he would have.
Love for GH,
they would have released that
his
one, right?
mods.
So let's say there's a bunch of other photographs on the path, and let's say they do have an image of him. And he's in the distance. There's no reason to show us that because it's not leading. It'd be cool and neato, but we're not going to be able to identify him any better by looking at that than the video that we do have because you can see him. He's walking, a little grainy in the face. If they had a clearer version, they would release it because then somebody out there might be able to identify him. So that's kind of why they don't do that. But, maybe if you want to increase the enthusiasm and so forth, they should release more of that stuff. And because enthusiasm makes a big difference too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the biggest thing is what you just said a couple minutes ago about putting it on nationwide. I think that would be the best thing they could do. I really do. I think something would come of that.
Man.
Do it for just a month. Do it for a month straight. Put it on. Just put it on a minute a day or whatever. Just put them on.
Yeah.
Somebody's got somebody knows who that guy is.
Yeah.
I would know if it was my father, brother. I would know. I would know by that picture, and especially the video. Put your video up there where you can actually see how the guy walks,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The newer one, too, because the other one slid a little bit too much. The newer one, his feet plant, and it's nice, and it shows the swaying. Yeah, it seems like if you knew who that was, you'd first go, oh, I might know that, and then you hear the voice, oh, wow, I know who that is. So somebody out there, if they had the video in front of them and the audio, somebody works with this guy, somebody's seen him. It's just, God, they just haven't seen him. There's still people in the area that didn't even know about the case a year ago. That's what was crazy. When I was talking to Becky one time, she said, man, I talked to somebody, they were like, they didn't even know about it. And they lived in maybe Lafayette or something, just right around there. It's crazy.
That's mind-boggling. Now, when he's walking and it shows him, do you think, it doesn't just stop right there. There's got to be more of him walking, or she must have put it down after that. I don't know. But it seems like, what, do you have any more of him actually walking? I just don't get it. There's got to be more that they can release of the audio and video that's not going to hurt, or offend the family. And there's got to be more. There has to be.
Yeah, I know that there's more information, I would imagine. I think there's probably a little bit more at the beginning of the video, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I doubt it just turned on right at that second. So there's probably a little bit more where the camera was trying to sort of be aimed down low in the right direction. And then it obviously probably got put in the pocket. Or it was really down low, being sort of hidden a little bit by her side. You can maybe see feet walking off the end of the bridge, that kind of thing. But that's not going to help anybody.
Yeah, even that. Even that, if you can see
his shoe type
closer up of his boots and stuff.
Right, but they would show that, right?
Right?
Yeah, if they knew. But here's the thing: is if they did show that, they'd say he wears waffle stompers, or whatever the hell it is. They'd probably say something, or they don't want to say that because then the guy would go hide those, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, if you went out immediately and said, "Oh, he's got a pair of Doc Martin, size 10 brown shoes," well, shit, not anymore,
Yep.
Yeah, so you kind of want to not say what you know in case you find him and then you find specific items. Maybe there's some footprints at the end of the bridge. It's kind of this crazy balancing act. You're probably like me. where you want to have everything. Man, I want to do it. I want to, you know, because that's more of a want. But the problem is sometimes we need a little more too. And so I think there's some stuff out there. Obviously, those are the things that Robert Ives is talking about. Those are the things we need in the public to be able to help. He must think that, or he wouldn't have said it, right? So.
Yeah, especially him saying that. It makes you really think. Like, come on, if this guy's saying it, you know, come on.
Yeah.
He's a prosecutor for a couple of weeks. He was there for
a year.
From the 80s, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was there for a year during the case, though, too. Yeah, and he'd done it before, long time.
Well, it's frustrating to say the least, but just got to keep going.
I feel your pain, man. I feel your pain. We'll get it. Hopefully this year. That's my feeling. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think you said a little while ago, there's a different feeling this year, though. Yeah. I agree.
So, all right. Well, I think I'm going to end my show, but I appreciate that was a good last call. You brought us into the house.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one. See you.
Bye.
All right. That was a good one. I forgot his name, by the way. What was it? Did anybody remember his name? Oh, wait. I almost remembered it. Crap. All right. Good stuff, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the support. At the end of this month, make sure to check in when we add some more money to the DNA fund. The last guy's name wasn't Alvin. That was the call before that. And then we'll also be donating to charity. Maybe I'll do some more to Nick Meck in honor of Abby and Libby again. Last year we donated $1,000 to the ballpark, which was matched dollar for dollar. So it was $2,000. And then earlier this year I did $600 to Nick Meck when Kelsey was on for the Abby in honor of Abby and Libby. So we'll probably do the same thing. Maybe get that up to, maybe add another 400 to that. Oh, it's Derrick? Okay. Well, thanks for calling in. Is that you? D and K? I see a D in the front there. Hey, Stacy. And by the way, Stacy sent me a nice PayPal the other day, so thank you very much. And hold on a second. Oh yeah, and then yesterday, some PayPals came in from Linda Moldenhau, and then also B. Averett and Stacy. That was the one I just mentioned. So thank you. Oh, and here's one from tonight. John Strickland, thank you very much. Oh, there's another one. And then Jackie said, I really enjoy your videos. Just wish I could catch your lives more often. I suppose that was a message. She said this isn't a message. Okay, yep. So thank you. Ah. So yes, everybody, I hope the case gets solved this year. Sort of feels like something's coming. That's just what I feel like. I don't have any, just, I don't know. Just all the shows and the information coming out. So I am going to get off of here now and do something else. But listen, I really appreciate you guys.
And thank you too, Jess Trombley, Barbara Smith, Scott Collins, Michelle Nicholas, Miss L. Rodriguez, Mary Clark, cat eye donation, Diesel Santiago, LM, Rochelle Black, Kit Kat, Gwendolyn D, another cat eye, Cindy Lynn, Lola Lola, Jen H, Meredith McKenzie, Sarah Smile, Linda Howell, Dan Carr, Maureen Coe, Lola Lola, Susie, Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howell of the cattle mutilations, Miss Marple, Kit Kat, Michelle Nicholas, Louis D, Georgina Stoliker, Pyro, Susie Heath, LM, Patricia M, Lynette Burns, Susanna Mac Gilla Padre, Tracy, Walker Fishin, Darrow, Kevin Brown, Brian Joe, Ali Sparkles, LM, Kevin Brown, Courtney Robb.
All right. Anyways, thank you guys very much for supporting the channel. I hope you guys got something out of that. I think it's always kind of cathartic to have the call-in shows where people call in and say what they're thinking. And I appreciate everybody. You guys are awesome. The awesome Generous Freaks, everybody. Let's load them up with the Generous Freak hearts. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Thank you guys very much. And make sure you wear your masks, maintain your social distancing, wash your hands, take the vaccine when you can. That'd be great. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 2 and a 3. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is. Yes, I said I'm done. What are you doing? Crime dissector.
I just, okay, God.
I'm a
Gee,
certified
Greg, you're so
human lie
mean.
detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old
projector.
Crime sector
Is my nectar.
Professor Gregor's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Alright. Wow.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody?
Thanks, Gray. Man, that was a really interesting show. I really liked the part with, the guy with...
Oh my God, would you quit rambling on?
What do you mean, John Boy? I just want to say what I want to say, gee.
You can. You just rambled on a long time. It wasn't quite monotone, like Susanna, right?
Well, Susanna's not monotone. She always goes ups and down.
Oh yeah, good point.
Okay, good night, everybody. Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Mary Lou.
Hey, how come you didn't say anything mean?
Oh God.
See, to me it seems like Mary Lou's looking for something, right? Always looking for something. Let's see. I'm going to get you guys the music here. Not sure why the computer's not loading up. I need to reboot, I think.
detector, freak detector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher. Even drive me like an old projector. Crime sector, gotta get it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, everybody, be safe out there. Okay? All right, see you.